And hello. Make sure everyone's unmuted. We are back. Alistair, can you give me a sound check?
Testing.
Maybe a bit low. Hawk?
Hello, I'm here. Test.
Martin?
It's me. I'm here.
That was very...
That was terrible.
From your end, something's happened.
That's this from your end, yeah.
That's better.
You're far away or
That's
something?
better. That's better.
Nope. I have done nothing to change.
Okay, you
that's better. Yeah.
sound better now. Maybe it had just gone into some sleep
Wonderful.
mode. I don't know. Lemur.
Hello.
Hey, that looks good. It all looks good on my levels, at least. So, welcome back, everyone. We are returning to Legends with a continuation of the Arthur and Merlin and Lancelot story, or mission, rather. And we are joined today by, as you could gather, Alistair, Hawk, and Martin from last time, and also Lemur is with us this time.
Hello.
So we will have a new Legends character introduced. Quick little maintenance. This is mostly for the players, but as you have probably noticed, there is now a party list on the left side of the screen, and you can also hide the menu with one of the buttons if you want. So it looks really nice, the side menu. Also, it takes a bit of setup to make it perfect, but there is now if you middle mouse click, you have a macro menu. By default, it should show your macro bars, but you can, if you open the macro directory, you can make special folders for the wheel with icons and stuff. It's an optional thing, so if you want to use it, Google it and find out how it works. I have set it up for myself, and it's really nice. Another thing, as we just discussed, there's the paper doll in the inventory, which looks really nice for you players. Sadly not on stream though. But that is just some quick maintenance. Also, I modified the stream view module we use. I wrote my own code there and sent him a pull request so that I can toggle chat in on the stream view, so I can actually turn chat off when there's nothing happening, and then show it when we make rolls,
Nice.
which is a lot cleaner. Right, with that, let us get back into it. Who wants to do a recap?
I feel I'm excluded from that group.
Yeah, I was trying to find the actual notes we had on it, but the person that's not here is the one that is responsible usually for the notes.
Well, he was only
so
in one session, so I don't know if that's...
yeah, well, I cannot find wherever we did the other notes, wherever they are. But from what I remember, we continued walking from, because the one before. Okay, wait. We are currently on our way to the meet with the Jarl of Escatir, because we are trying to stop the Fey guerrilla war on Camelot.
There you go.
And we are trying to talk to the Jarl to get him to help us, maybe stop the Fey, something. And last time, from what I remember, the time before we had met with like some farmers that were we came to a farmstead that were had a lot of ghosts and undead, and we figured out that the Fae were trying to do a failed butchered ritual thing there. That was the time before last time. And then we continued onwards from that stead through the mountains, where we met up with who was it we met up with there? Dougal on the short, I think.
It was me.
And Grudio Glasscock as well, I think. I think those were the two we met then last time. I don't remember what happened after we met with them. If anyone else can add in what fight we did there, because I do not remember that.
We heard the cries of help from the side of the road, and Dogman, as is his nature, rushed to the aid of these hapless fools. Of course, he has been living quite a quite remote life the last century or so, and it's not used to the guerrilla war tactics of the Fae, which of course were mimicking the voices of helpless humans, and trying to lure in prey, and they did so very effectively. And suddenly we were fighting against some very rude guys, including a fisher. Well, a guy with a fishing hook, anyway. And a dire badger rat. And some other guy.
Yeah.
And we fought bravely. I got fished for a bit. But I got loose before too long. And we punched them real hard.
Right. And then I think we ended it by when we entered the town that the Jarl is in control of, which is a mostly Fae town.
Oh.
And we ended, I think, on our way up to the castle, or like the area, I think, on our way to meet him. I think that's what happened.
The last thing that happened was that you got to town.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so, seeing as you're one man down, let's just assume you're making camp just outside town. You went in and were like, oh, we need to have a plan. Let's go find somewhere safe to talk. So you basically find a place just outside of town to set up a camp, hidden, and what's his name? Gradziu is basically saying he's going to do druid stuff and scout the perimeter while you guys check out town. So it is a new morning, and you are sat having some rations just outside town.
Some beautifully cooked and prepared and well seasoned rations, might I add.
Delightful.
And a cup of tea.
And a cup of tea. Yeah.
Hang on, let me add a tea set to my inventory because I'm assuming that is something I would have. Actually, you know what? I can mechanically say that I do indeed have a cup of tea because I have Prescient Planner.
Yep.
Does tea even exist in this time period in England?
Not really, no.
Put some leaves in some hot water.
Always existed in England. It is heresy to say otherwise.
Apparently, they didn't come until 1650.
Don't you just put some dirt in your warm
some
water
leaves.
And it's fine, isn't it?
Yeah, just some normal leaves.
Yeah, I just
hopefully some leaves.
It's some herbal water, you guys.
Yeah.
Some herbal dirt.
Boiled herbal water. Yep.
Yep. Precursor tea.
Yeah. So yes, you are set in camp. I assume making a plan, or just are you gonna wing it and go into town?
Yeah. I mean, we are the three of us here, Arabella and Dagolan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess Alistair will kind of with a cup of warm liquid close, steaming up his helmet. He will say, looking at Arabella, "So, a diplomatic mission. Are you prepared for the day's interesting challenges? We are, after all, dealing with Fae?
Well, it is now or never, isn't it? And the fate of Camelot rests on this mission.
Yes, well, I am rather dismayed that there are so many Fae living in this town. We cannot put them all to the sword, so diplomacy will have to do.
I think it's the best for everyone involved if we can resolve this conflict as peacefully as possible.
Well,
Yes.
I always preferred talking to fighting. Well, not entirely true, but it's probably the right call.
Yes. I do think that we should try to gain an audience with the regent. Perhaps it will give us a smoother beginning than if we were to just waltz in to his domain unbidden. So perhaps we shall go and find some representative of the local authority.
That seems to be a good start, yeah. Let's go the official route as much as we can for now.
And be not waylaid by the trickery of the Fae. They may try to coax you and entice you with riddles, songs, and gifts, but do not be swayed by their cunning.
I raise an eyebrow at you.
Worry not. I shall shield you from their trickery, as best as my ability provides.
I appreciate it, Sir Alistair. So we'll see. I am quite proficient in talking and diplomacy.
Of course, my lady. You are the most cunning of negotiators. I am well
believe in the
assured
young.
that you could even trick a Fae into your bidding.
I believe in the young lady. She will rise to the challenge as the phoenix rises from the ashes.
As it does, so it does. Very well. I shall clean your weapons, and we shall be on our way. We must look presentable. So I clean and make us all presentable, and then we're off.
You know, wipe off the Fey blood before you enter the Fey town.
Yeah. I'm sure I've wiped up the Fey blood before, but now I'm getting into the crevices.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes.
Doing a deep scrub.
Yep. Also, welcome in, Ustra. Yeah. So you head towards town, and meanwhile, elsewhere, a bit of a distance outside of town to the. If you press J, by the way, on the keyboard, I have added a different journal. I haven't added any quests, lore, or anything yet, but I have added the map. So you can always see the map of Camelot.
Nice.
So traveling upriver from the rather large settlement of Londonium, if it's still called that, it might have been sacked already. I'm uncertain of the timeline. Irrelevant. Heading up from the river of what will in the future be named London, is a small boat with two people on board. A elderly man who's basically steering the boat, and then a hooded figure sat in the back. He stops by a riverbank and says to his passenger, This is as far as I'll take you, ma'am. You have to walk the rest of the way. And, Lemur. You, step off the boat, pay the man, and start your trek. You, know where you're going. The stories you've heard, the rumors have all pointed towards this direction. And you believe you are not far away.
So, this character that just stepped off is she's recognizably female. She has long, flowing black, like raven-colored hair. She's wearing what is like a vaguely Romanesque design chainmail, which is period inaccurate Lorica squamata. We're stretching it. It's battle worn and it's seen its fair share of travel, but it's sturdy. And at her side, she's also carrying a traditional Roman short sword, a gladius. And her arms are covered in scars and nicks that shows that she herself has also seen her fair share of travel and challenges. But she walks with a confident gait, and her piercing eyes are fixed on her target, which is up the road.
So, after about a day's travel, you arrive in the town, which surely must be the correct place. You know your destination. What you seek is in a Fey settlement. Now, you've seen Fey before. You've traveled in England before several times. Perhaps even this same journey has been a couple of months or whatever. You've seen Fey before, but they are still a bit unusual to you. Coming from Rome, you don't deal with Fey in the same sense. Like, there are Fey there, but they're not
nature sprites.
Yeah,
there's
nature sprites and there's stuff like sirens and harpies. But they're more like animals. They have their tribes and settlements, of course, and they do speak. But they like stick to themselves. They don't gather up interspecies like Fae in England often do, where they kind of mix and match, and they're all like classed as the same thing. In Rome, where you come from, it's more like, oh, that's harpies and that's sirens and this is some spirits. You don't really class them as the same thing as much. While in England, it's very normal to just like everything that's not human, that's Fae. Right? So it's a bit different where you're from, and they're not as prevalent where you're from as well. As I said, like the harpies stick to their nest. They don't tend to wander out. You're more used to dealing with like ogres, cyclopses, that kind of thing is quite normal. Half giants,
and
actual
people.
giants, and people, yeah. People. There is a lot of interspecies, especially into divinity. Like there are some half gods, both like demigods, half gods, people who just a percentage god of both good and evil gods. It's like
I'm a 2% god.
Yeah.
On my mother's side.
Yeah.
You know what? 2% god. I'm actually the 1%.
Yeah. So that's quite common. So there are some obviously supernatural stuff where you're from, but it's quite different from England, which is very steeped in the Fae connections. But you can clearly recognize this as a Fae town as you come in because of the large variety of species living here. Meanwhile, I'll just put the rest of you over here. So yeah, you arrive into this town. What is your modus operandi? What do you do upon arrival?
I think Alistair knows full well that these creatures are more likely to take kindly to his horse rather than him. So he sees he's leading the horse instead of riding the horse now, leading Silver, and he's found like a 4-leaf clover and he's put it on the air of the horse to make it look a little bit more naturey.
You found a 4-leaf clover. Okay, roll me a d100. If you get 100, you have a 4-leaf clover.
100?
If there's any place to find a 4-leaf clover, it's here.
Can't be
That's
that rare.
Okay,
95.
fine. Okay, fine.
Has to be.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
You get a bone discount to the DC because of the location.
So a little 4-leaf clover in the main.
You are quite stoked about it, though. You weren't expecting to find one, and it was just there.
Yeah, I think actually he looks at it and sort of takes it as like an omen of what's to come, and really kind of gently plucks it and puts it into the mane of Silver, and says, "This will protect you from their trickery." And and yeah,
I also imagine we could have Dogalorn.
Doglin!
Sorry, Doglin. I forgot how to say his name. Doglin. It's been a while.
You can pronounce all these fancy human names. But one dwarf. Can you flip up?
This is in character. People say his name wrong all the time.
Doglin, I would suggest that like he's kind of more in the front of the group because like he's the dwarf.
Yeah, right.
Like when we go into the town to try and find someone official.
Sure.
Yeah, basically we're trying to find someone official and be like, we seek an audience with y'all.
And Lemur, what is your modus operandi when approaching the town and your target?
I think Valeria has a bit of a swagger to her. As I said, she is confident in her abilities and her goal. I don't think she is. She's clever about it, though. She knows that she is outnumbered and outmatched if she just turns murder hobo. So as she goes into the town, she would like to orient herself. So I think she will approach some merchants, for example, and engage them in conversation, perhaps, to just learn about this place. And confirm that this is the right town, for example. That's usually a good thing.
Yeah. So you can do a gather information check then.
Yeah. Sure. I don't remember how to do that. Is that just
gather
a
information is a diplomacy, unless you have any skills to change
it.
You could do. I'll allow you to do society as well, but it will have different results. That's because then you're more mingling.
Yeah, I would.
Well, gather information with diplomacy is more like asking people.
I wasn't asking because I cared. That sounded. I don't mean that, but I just wanted to figure out what button to push.
Yeah.
To meet. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah, you're pretty confident. You find out that this is a Fey village ruled by the Jarl, and they're quite a happy, peaceful community. What you already know, as I told you in person, I won't repeat it here because I want you to keep that secret. But there's definitely something. Like beneath the surface, to put it that way. It seems a bit too on the nose when they're like, "Oh, we're a happy, peaceful community. We don't do anything wrong," right? And you have your suspicions on why.
Yeah. You also know my other lore skills, so maybe those come into play.
Yeah, I do.
So.
And yeah, so you're basically just going around the market, just buying some small irrelevant things. It won't cost you anything, but you're just like buying some small snacks or trinkets or whatever, just strike up conversations, doing as you do. And you notice this group of individuals coming in through the west road. You are here by the bridge, by the way. The market would be where this church thing is. Here. And you notice these this group of individuals coming in from the west side. Looks like a dwarf, a horse, and two knights by the looks of it at first glance. You can clearly tell one of the knights is heavily armored, while the other one looks more like a caster. But from the tabard, you assume they are also knighted.
Yeah. Seeing that these guys are clearly also not natives here, she's just gonna like lean against one of the poles of the bridge and just eat her now newly purchased bread and cheese. Just watch.
So yeah, it's
the classic badass move.
Yeah.
Just like should have been an apple though. I swear, should have been an apple.
You become the mysterious person at the in the corner of the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But except you know who I am, so we're already introduced. So that's a twist on it. But yeah, but she's Roman. She tried to buy some cheese.
Hey, you're still eating cheese from like the knife. You slice up some cheese and eat it from the knife. Yeah.
Yes.
You still got that badass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There we have it.
All right, the badass is back again.
Yeah.
Sandwich.
Yeah. So
just a leafy sandwich.
So as the rest of you, as you're then entering the outskirts of town, and you see towards the market, leaning against one of the bridge posts, for some reason holding a piece of bread and eating cheese, you see the only other human in town. You see
Merlin gives a nod of recognition and then keeps going. He has a mission.
I believe I made.
Strange land gone stranger. I wonder where this will lead.
Actions. I thought I made a thing for that, but I guess not. Lemur. So yeah, you see this woman leaning against a post as you're approaching.
Do we recognize the style of the clothing?
So I was gonna say, because timeline-wise, the fall of Rome was like
200 years ago.
200 years ago. Yeah.
Byzantine Empire still exists.
Yeah. So just for context, the fall of Rome is a very drawn out thing. I mean that shit spent literally a millennia to die. Yeah. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, it didn't happen on the day.
Like the remnants are like ruins and stuff are still here today. So in this center, like
also
at this time, there would be obvious like we would know about Rome.
Yeah. And also bear in mind like. The last thing the capital of Rome thought when they said, "Oh, we're going under now," the last thing they thought of is, "Let's send ravens to England." That sounds like a good idea. No, so probably not everyone even knows. Like it took, as Lemur said, it took a long time to fall, and like not everyone knows it fell either. Right. So
falling is such a vague concept, anyway.
Yeah. So bear in mind that. So
the Romans invaded England 500 years ago. We are probably at least partial descendant from some of them.
Yeah,
it's in my parents' generation, you bastard.
So yeah, you definitely recognize the armor. At least, I'd say all of you, because Douglan, you're a learned man. You live in a cloister, so yes, you have definitely. You definitely recognize the style from drawings from Rome. And I'd say definitely Alistair as well. As a trained knight, you would recognize it. I'd say Arabella, you probably don't recognize it as Ely,
Sure.
but you have suspicions that you're like, wait, is that Roman? No, that can't be. Roman stuff is like we don't use that anymore, right? You're more skeptical, but you do recognize it.
I am a lore master. It's literally my thing.
That
So.
you are. That's fine. I scratched that, and yeah, you all recognize it. I was trying to make it exciting.
Alistair,
No excitement for you.
Alistair sort of under his breath is, I was expecting strange, but this, a ghost. Strange indeed.
I'm not actually like Kratos, like the Ghost of Sparta. Just you need to, if that's the reference.
No, that is not the reference.
Okay, good. Oh.
I mean, for
Carry on.
all you know, it could be a looter. Someone took Roman armor and thought, "Hey, free armor." Like,
fits too well.
It fits too well.
Fits
thought you said
has been
loser.
worn for centuries.
I would just basically keep an eye on her and make sure take a note if she followed. If not, we still kind of have our own goal of trying to get to the Jarl, and she looks just as out of place as we do. She probably doesn't know how to get up there.
Actually, with the new context of everything, I do. As we pass, I shoot up a glance and go like, "Time for another invasion, eh?"
Yeah, you say that to her?
Yeah. I mean, it's halfway jokingly, but there's like a tiny barb. Just
Yeah,
tiny.
she smiles and nods her head at you, like acknowledging the remark. If you stop to speak to her or not, that's relevant for how the conversation progresses. I mean, it's fine if you just continue to walking. That's also...
You know,
If someone stops, I'll stop with them. Yeah, then I'll stop too.
like just sort of like a sort of wide, hands on hip, like.
I feel like this is a dramatic, like, other side of the river conversation, like we're opposite sides of the river.
Yeah, so you're kind of like on this side of the bridge, and she's on this side of the bridge.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, probably waiting for her to come over. Like, we're not going that way, we're going the other way, so like, if she want to join us, she can come over to us.
Yeah, it's like a stop and see what's going on, and then, have an awkward long distance conversation. Hail and well met, traveler. You've certainly come far. From where do you hail?
She finishes the food in her mouth, and then she just casually discards them behind her into the river. She says, "Salvete, warriors. You look like strangers in a strange land as well. Not as strange as me. I hail from the lands of I currently come from the land of the Gauls, although they hardly refer to themselves as that anymore." And you can tell that she speaks with a slight accent, but she speaks, I guess, what goes for English in this setting very well.
Ah, you speak our language well, then, Gaul.
Well, I wouldn't call myself a Gaul for that. Thank you. I've had plenty of opportunity to practice.
We wish to seek an audience with the Jarl. You wouldn't happen to know how one proceed with such matters?
Afraid not. I just arrived myself.
I see. Well, introductions are in order. I am Sir Alistair, Dragon of Cornwall, at your pleasure. And does like a bow. And this... And I remember that Arabella likes to introduce herself and sort of stop myself and does the little, like, sideways.
Yeah, I was expecting you to do it, and I'm kind of surprised that you're actually stopping. I am Lady Arabella of Cornwall. And I do the
Curtsy.
what's it freaking called in English? Curtsy.
Arabella Ava Sir Alistair.
Name's Doglin. You probably haven't heard of where I'm from. It's all right.
Ava Doglin.
And what about you?
And I'm Handman, says one of the elves.
Ava Handman.
I say to the elf.
Do you have a lot of hands?
It's
Some call me Valeria, daughter of Mars.
Valeria. That's a fine name.
Does well as
I join in on
this
the
special guy.
introductions.
This motherfucker.
Well, I greeted that thing back, so...
I look at it like a cockroach, or like...
Yeah, it's like got a big smile at Arabella. And then it looks at you and it's like... just completely stone-faced. And it walks away.
Aww.
And we did just start introducing each other in the middle of the street, so...
Walk well, little man.
Literally on, like, one of the main bridges.
Yeah. I mean, we're not, like, I'm assuming we went to a little bit to the side so that we don't, like, block everyone. But at the same time, like, we are a group of people that is mostly humans in a faith thing, that they are going to listen in.
Say, Valeria of Mars, if you find yourself here still, as dusk falls, may I invite you cordially to our camp by the willow tree for some drink and cheese and exchanging of stories. You must have many interesting tales to tell. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry. A little distraction. You asked if she wanted to join you later this evening, if she was here when darkness fell. If she wanted to join you for something, is that correct?
Yes. Yes. Exchanging stories.
I guess I'll see you around, Sir Alistair.
Yes, you very well might. Now, we shall be on our way.
Best of luck with your audiences.
And best of luck to whatever business you might have in this fair town.
She also had the...
Silver? And I think Silver has kind of been looking at you all throughout. And again, Alistair struggling a little bit to get Silver's attention back on turning to follow the road. But after holding your glare for a while, he gracefully turns and follows.
So yeah, you head up the hill, and as you near the top, you see what you assume is some guards near the entrance to the manor. It looks like a castle on the drawing, and it does have like a castle wall, but it's not a big, like, it's not a military castle. It's a manor, a fortified manor.
Yeah.
And it does look like there are some guards. There's at least someone stood by the gate. One of these grigs is stood by the gate. Who seems to be almost snoozing.
Sir?
What?
Hail and well met.
He looks around and like, I guess?
We are travelers come from Camelot, and we seek an audience with your Jarl.
On what business?
I sort of do a little bow, and now I have to kind of confer, I guess, with the party. What sort of approach would we want to take here?
Yeah, you could have.
So DM, we originally were to. We were told that he could help us, or what was the? It's been like a couple of, a while since we got the information.
You were told that he may be in cohorts with the rebels. This is basically just your first lead, like. There were, I think, if I remember correctly, there were rumors that the Jarl was in cohorts with the rebels, but it was not confirmed. So your plan, I seem to remember, was to basically try and learn if he is, and if he can get you to the true leader, or have any information on the leader of the.
Okay, so it wasn't that he was neutral and we can get him against the Fae, it's that he might be in cohorts with them.
I mean, the hope would be if he isn't, we can, and if he is, we can get him to stop, I would assume.
Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't actually get the brief. This is just conjecture.
Then, I guess what I would say is that we have come to, as envoys, to discuss matters of the realm with the Jarl.
Yep.
Yeah, you say that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think the proper way to do this is Alistair again does the introductions, and then Arabella does the actual request.
Yeah, basically.
He suddenly stands up very straight and like, as if you said something specific to like trigger him, right? He just like suddenly snaps up. Oh, come on in then, he says.
Can I do a quick insight to see if, like, did this alarm him or just make him like take things seriously?
You can.
Would that be perception?
That would be. Well, I don't think perception is necessary because you saw he did react. You've already seen the physical reaction.
Yeah.
It's more like
there is no insight skills.
No,
I want to click the insight.
I know. I want an insight. I miss insight from D&D. It would be society, I guess, is the best.
Can I do it too?
Yeah, you can do that. Or if you have any like Fey lore specifically.
Hey,
it's mountain. If I do, I have
my society is better.
Yeah.
I cannot read that. You should be able to right click.
That was in Southall, yeah.
That's Southall. Righty ho.
You can right click it, I think, Martin, and reveal it.
Right click it. Oh, I can. Pop up message. Reveal to everyone.
Yeah. So Alistair and Douglas, you recognize this, or you know what this is. It's Fae are very strict on rules, usually. Like, for being a chaotic species, they are very strict on when they first have rules, they are life and death rules. Which is why, like, contracts with Fae and stuff are so binding. Because they live in chaos, they don't have rules, but the few rules they do have are so strict. And what you gather is that something you said, he has been told to let pass as a rule. You're assuming it was the word emissary. And so he's like, okay, yeah. I cannot play pranks, I can't do tricks, I can't do anything. This is just, they have to go through. Right? He is like, so
this is now official business.
Yeah.
And I have official. Yeah. Nice.
So you're assuming
that's good, at least.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay.
So yeah, as you pass into the courtyard, I will activate a new map for us.
Just really quick.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a if you go back to the introduction to Valeria, we saw her picture. Should she see our pictures?
That is true. I will reveal your pictures. I will reveal the map first, though, because otherwise you have a black screen.
Very reasonable.
There you go.
I was just keeping my eyes closed the whole time, so.
As one does when you meet new people in the strange place.
Hey, that's offensive, Martin. He made a blind character. Are you making fun of?
Yes. Skill issue, being blind.
Yeah. So this is Alistair, Sir Alistair. Also good for the stream to just reveal this. Then we have Lady Arabella. And we have Dagwerlin the Short.
God damn it! It's Dogwin!
And of note is that at least Arabella and Alistair carry the same sort of sigils, or like not sigils, but the same
crest.
heraldry.
The crest.
Yeah, crest. Yeah. Of a phoenix.
Yeah.
If you were to, unclothe Dogwin and look intensely at his tattoos, you would find wing and fire symbology in his tattoos.
Yeah.
But you probably don't do that right now.
Let's just say we have a theming bonus, bitch.
We got a theme.
Yeah, I will drag out the...
We are the bird gang.
The clown car. And then we remove one of them and we hide the other over there. Just because you're not there right now.
I was.
As you mentioned in chat, though, I assume you are not far behind, and you would have overheard the conversation. And just for the intent of being able to get you in quick, you also understand the trigger word.
Yeah. Just so to note, I didn't say it in chat for everybody. Just
okay.
Yeah,
but you're nearby and you're paying attention. That they can know, like as meta.
Yeah.
And you heard and understood the key phrase as well, so you can get in quick that way if you need to. As you enter the courtyard, let me just clear the pictures from chat or from stream. I mean, as you enter the courtyard, you see your heart kind of sinks a bit. Maybe not yours, Alistair, as maybe you get a smile, but at least Arabella and Douglin, your heart sinks a bit because you see a courtyard which was once beautiful, has clearly been turned into a training ground.
Oh no.
You see a unseelie archer over here, training at the archery range. And yes, this is an AI background, hence the squibbly circles.
Yeah, no shit.
But hey, I feel
like AI generated images for Fae is pretty on point because they're all like nightmarishly twisted and weird.
True.
It's a bit racist, but sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I Legends is putting effort into good maps for Legends is a bit above what I can be bothered. So we have AI maps.
They work.
Yeah, and then in the back you see what looks like some commander teaching people, and then you see right in front of you see a fox man talking to a raccoon man. Or that's not a raccoon. That's a badger.
Is that a raccoon? Badger.
Badger raccoon.
Yeah.
Looks raccoonish.
Yeah, maybe it is raccoon. Yeah.
They're all the same to me.
Whatever. Two animals talking to each other. At least.
Can I quickly have a glance at like how they're training and see if this is like the type of training you would do for guerrilla fighting? And not just like a guard training to use a weapon
you
type
may
of fighting.
Roll warfare lore.
Yeah, exactly.
You read him like a book.
Let's see. I have... Oh, fuck. Then my bonus isn't added automatically. Okay, well, gotta add that. And then... blind gem roll. Private gem roll. Oh, no. Wait, that was wrong. That was... whatever. That was wrong. That was one I can see. I shouldn't be able to see. It is blind gem roll. The +1 is from my helmet.
Right. Yes. So you suspect as much, though it could also be training new guards for the castle, though this isn't a castle, it's a manor. it does definitely seem out of place. What with the courtyard being turned into a training ground. Obviously, you realize that you might be overthinking it. That it could be the fact that there is war going on, that the Lord wants more defenses. But also it could be that he's a part of the war.
Yeah. Okay.
He is definitely mounting up more soldiers than would be normal, because he seems to be training civilians.
Yeah.
That much you can guarantee.
That's fair.
Yeah. As you are approaching, the fox whispers something to the raccoon, and the raccoon starts scurrying off. Excuse me, and leaves. Wrong person.
It's too far away to hear what he was whispered.
Yeah. I mean, it was like right in his ear. Yeah. As you approach, I guess Silver's just gonna stay there, but as you approach, I can do this and show you as he introduces himself. He says, "Welcome, travelers, to the Jarl's estate. I am Rod Bonhedig. Pleasure to meet you."
Likewise.
The pleasure is ours. And then, does a bow. Sir Alistair, the Dragon of Cornwall, at your service. And this is the envoy, Lady Arabella of Cornwall.
I give a deep a courtesy and go, "It's a pleasure to meet you."
Pleasure's all mine. What brings you to this estate?
I think, you.
Yeah. Well, we are emissaries from the city of Camelot, and we wish to have an audience with you all about the current affairs between our regions, and we wish to have a potentially diplomatic solution to the current problems that we are both facing. That will be satisfactory to both of us.
Well, the Jarl is not in at the moment. Besides, he does not tend to meet strange guests that are neither announced nor known of. However, I will be happy to take his stead in our meetings. I am the seneschal of the Jarl's estate, so I am authorized to deal all his business.
Can I do some kind of insight check with him?
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that that's kind of what it's been going on.
Yeah, you did before you got here. You did pick up the rumors that the Jarl hasn't been seen in a long time.
Yeah, I just want to know how suspicious it actually is. Like if he's giving off any kind of weird.
Yep.
Feeling.
Is he being a sneaky little deceptive fox, as foxes are ought to be?
Yes.
Yes, you
it's
may.
Basically my thing. I do have discreet inquiry. I'm not sure if that counts for this.
Discreet inquiry.
No, that is if you're asking.
Doesn't it?
Because that is if you're actually asking around and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Then it doesn't matter. Then I'm gonna do perception, I guess.
Can I do Phalor as last time?
Yeah. I do have
Trying to
Phalor.
see if
you do not have Phalor, Arabella.
No, I don't have Phalor. I have a city and Loremaster. I don't have Phalor.
Yeah.
Sorry.
City would likely be either Camelot or Tintagel or something. We're in Cornwall.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do a blind perception then.
Yep, it would be perception. I don't think Phalor applies to this, because this is more like he might be a sly fox, yes, but this is more like a specific
The sly, how to detect the slyness of foxes is not described within the fairy tales of Fae.
Well, also
that you're saying
no, like if this was one out in the wild, sure, you would be very much allowed to use Fae lore because it would be more on them as a species. But this is a specific seneschal trying to lie or not, right?
Oh no, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, no, I get it.
So,
yeah,
I would also like to use my eyes to look at the stinky foxes.
Yeah, you can use perception though, Alistair.
Yeah.
So, Alistair, let's start with you. You think it makes sense, obviously. The rumors, the Jarl hasn't been seen for ages. He's like, you are, I wouldn't say old, but you're definitely up in the years a bit. So you've been around, and you know.
Hey, now I'm a spry 52, okay?
So you know.
He's just a little youngster.
You know that very often when someone says like, "Oh, I am in charge," the Jarl hasn't been seen for 5 years. It usually means that person is dead, right?
Yeah.
So this guy is in charge, and the Jarl is likely not either dead or he left to join the army, or he's not the Jarl anymore, basically.
Could be imprisoned in a dungeon, in a hole in the ground.
Yeah, or that. Douglan, you notice that the fox is glancing over at the captain as he speaks quite often. Like there is definitely something out of place. The fox is nervous, basically.
Yeah.
Who is the captain?
Okay. Do I get the sense that he's looking at the captain for assurance, or is he nervous about the captain?
It seems like assurance. He seems like it seems like he's kind of giving the help me out over here. I've got some people.
Yeah.
Kind of. You can also tell that the response of the Jarl being unavailable almost sounds like an automatic response. He said it so many times.
Yeah.
And you're not entirely sure if that's true. You're guessing it's just that the Jarl doesn't want to meet people.
Reasonable.
But yeah, it doesn't take long after, like while he's talking, and the commander will actually start approaching. You can ask.
What did I get?
You get. You're uncertain. You literally rolled right down the middle.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're uncertain. Like he could be saying the truth. He could be lying. It's a Fae, but also he's like in a position of power, so it might be true. You literally don't know.
Okay.
Your guess is your real life guess, I guess. So yeah, as you're talking, you may ask him another one before the guard captain is close, because he's not running over. He just stopped and turned.
Yeah, go.
No, if you have one, you can say yours instead.
No, I don't.
Oh. Sorry. Well, our current the current political climate seems to be a very a topic of high importance for both of us. Surely the Jarl would be feel the necessity of joining us for such a discussion.
As you finish your question, the commander approaches. I will post his picture as well.
Ew.
As he
Commander of Jarl.
Commander of Jarl.
As he
Is Jarl a place?
Jarl is the name of the town.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh.
He is the Jarl.
Is Jarl the name of the town?
Yeah.
Is he the Jarl of Jarl?
Yep.
The Jarl.
Really?
Jarl.
Yep. If you look at
Jesus
the map is just. Well, I named it.
Jarl
It's Jarl's Fortress, but I named it Jarl because Merlin was so insistent on the fact that the Vikings were not here yet.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the thing is, Earl is still like a.
Earl comes from Jarl.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
So Earl would be even later. But anyway,
yeah, true.
Merlin was so insistent on the fact that the Vikings had not yet arrived, so we named the town Jarl. But but also I did have an excuse, and that's the fact that Fae travel through Fae portals, and they don't really care which country names are come from.
Yeah.
So it could be a Viking Fae.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say the timeline of when Vikings are here. That's sure that needs to be on the level, but like names and such, like fucking what?
Yeah. Anyway, Captain Varen approaches and he says, "Jarl's not here. But we can send a message to him if you insist. But he will likely not arrive before our business is done."
Much appreciated. And I kind of wait for him to introduce himself.
He sees you waiting, and he's like, "Captain Varen."
Yeah, sure.
He gives a little nod, but that's about it.
Alistair kind of steps forward and sort of waiting for attention because he doesn't want to speak out of turn.
Yeah, no, I give you a nod too. You can speak.
If you are able to message the good Lord, then we would be happy for you to do so. However, you mentioned it taking a significant amount of time. What sort of time frame do we speak of here?
He says, where was it he went again? Right. At the shortest, couple of weeks travel for him. At the longest, a whole moon.
That is long indeed. And the potential of a crisis point finding place in that time is too significant to ignore. I shall.
He kind of ignores you. You as a knight take this extremely rude. He doesn't seem to care at all, but he just turns away from you as you're talking, and shouts at the guy back there something in Fae. How many of you understand Fae?
I do.
I think I do. Yeah, I do.
So then I will allow you both to roll a perception, because he's not speaking the Fae you know, because he is speaking unseelie Fae. So basically, how much do you understand of it?
Like I know Spanish, and he's speaking in Italian.
It's more like English, and you're talking to a Scotsman with a deep accent. You don't understand anything. No, Arabella, you have difficulty understanding it. You recognize it as Fae. You do pick up a few words, but he's saying it so quick with such a deep, unseelie accent that it's really hard to catch. Alistair, you recognize a couple words that allow you to piece some together. You recognize the words send, message, and Jarl, at least. So you figure he is asking the guy to send a message to the Jarl. There is something off about the grammar, but that could just be the fact that it's unseelie. And this guy gives a bow and runs off, and he turns back to you. What were you saying?
Well, Pardon? Well, I said that we want to engage in diplomacy before the meeting's end, if possible. I see that you are a military man. I am also. I am an oil man. She just got that.
Suddenly just reference that. Okay, yeah, sorry.
And I see that you have begun mustering a militia of sorts. May I inquire as to the reasoning for this spur of engagement?
House defenses. War is at our borders. No need to roll again, because you already had your rolls. You completely understand, Alistair. Basically, you rolled a 1, so you agree with everything. Do you think that's super logical? Like, of course they need defenses if there's war on the borders. Douglan, you are skeptical. He was a bit too quick to answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. He was too quick to answer. He's too it was too much of a default response.
Yeah.
He didn't put any thought into it. Like, oh, you're making an army. He's like, it's defenses. Right. Like,
It's just defenses.
Just defenses. Very well.
Well, of course, one might never be too careful. I understand completely. The manner of your training is indeed quite officious. I must commend you for your expertise.
he just gives a polite nod. Now,
Meanwhile, from the bushes, can I make a roll to see if, they don't know I'm there, I assume, because we're just hand waving me having snuck in here, which is fine. Which is good. But is there any hidden guards or anywhere from a guard perspective?
Yeah, you can roll me a perception.
Yes.
Hidden or secret even. You keep an eye on the guy who was just asked to send a message, and you see him run into the building and along these arches at the top here. Or he would go this way so you can see. And he kind of, you see him go into a room that you can't quite see. But then it seems like he appears on the roof. So he comes out some back door on the roof up here. And he seems to have a crossbow. And is not necessarily preparing a shot. But you see he is lying in wait.
Observing.
Yeah, an observing.
Doesn't seem like he's delivering a message.
No, it doesn't.
Well, I mean, can be about, but yeah.
He is delivering a message to the other people.
Yeah.
I see.
I'm delivering a message from the Jarl.
Yeah.
Oh, an important person.
I have snoozed the stream break for a while now, so I think we will just take a quick ad break while you guys can try and think of what to do next and evaluate your situation. So
sounds good.
So let us run a quick BRB screen, and we will be back in 5 or 5 minutes. Just
4,
5 is fine.
2, 1.
Yeah. And we are back. My camera has decided to crash on stream. That's because I'm not wearing a cap anymore. Let me just quickly restart the cam. There we go, that's better. Right, sorry about that. We are back, and so, how do you approach the situation?
Well, I think we need to impress upon them that, this needs to, they should not consider attacking us because we're emissaries.
Mm-hmm.
Let's begin with setting that baseline, and then the second, we need to sort of set up a meeting in a neutral place, so that we can discuss. And then it's okay. We understand, the difficulties of getting the Jarl here, so we can talk to the Seneschal. But that we need to talk in serious terms, and that of course they wouldn't want to, if they were to discard this opportunity or answer it with force, then it would be seen as an all-out declaration of war upon the realm of Camelot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like that's pretty we are trying to do a stance on hey, we are actually trying to do a diplomacy here.
Mm.
You should meet us on equal terms. Don't fuck with us. And we want to actually try and have peace without the war. We're trying to show us that we are actually serious about this. You should take us serious. You should not try and attack us now.
So are you doing a diplomacy or an intimidation?
Both.
Yes.
Yes. The answer is yes.
A good cop, bad cop routine here.
I'm doing the diplomacy part. He's doing the Alistair, I assume, is doing the intimidation part.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
We're setting the terms of what we are trying to want diplomatically, and he's like, well, and if you don't do that, there will be consequences.
It's not an if. I'm just setting the baseline levels of as an emissary, this is what you should expect. Attacking us means this. I'm just stating the facts, and if the facts are slightly intimidating, that's the facts' fault, not the.
Arabella, you can roll a diplomacy. Alistair, you can roll an intimidation.
Also, if that is too low, if that is a fail, I would like to reroll.
No, that's fine. So what you get is when you say we should meet in a neutral place, the Seneschal obviously says, oh, but opening his arms out, Jarl is a neutral place. Obviously.
And why is there a war at your borders that you're afraid of?
Well, surely you've heard of the rebels roaming the land, torching your fields? Is that not a war? And they are outside our borders. They are not within our borders. He kind of straightens his collar.
I raise an eyebrow very obviously, yeah, no, I don't believe that.
Yeah. But
well, we still, then you would very much like to also solve the problem with the rebels.
Yes, if they are indeed so close to being a problem for your fields, then it's in your best interest to ensure that this does not escalate further, I would assume.
The captain says in response to you being slightly intimidating, raising your level, he says, well, we're not escalating it, are we? You're the only one who seems to be doing so. As the conversation goes on, there is a bit of back and forth. I won't tell you the direct result yet, but as there's a bit of back and forth, we pan over to the other adventuring party, who is currently solo. Because
The one-man party.
The one-man party. Because while I
One-woman party, please.
While I would like to do it just in private, I don't think that's very good for the stream. So we will actually play it out. So you, Valeria, is stalking around a bit on the outside, and you manage to find one of the soldiers who is currently taking a piss in a back alley.
That's what does.
And you approach him. And how do you go about this?
Stealthily, with my Gladys drawn, and then I slide my Gladys in between his butt cheeks and touch the back of his ball sack, and then I whisper in his ear, "Not a word."
I would be intimidated, just saying.
Yeah,
that's cold steel against your scrotum, you know.
You can roll me to intimidate. I'm just going to say the DC isn't very high.
You should never be pants fully when you when you go through pits. Apparently.
Oh god.
He panics fully. He jumps, has a little startle.
Not jump, man.
No, he has a little startle, and butt cheeks are clenched, which is not a good thing considering what's between them. He seems very scared. Yeah. So he resentfully lifts both arms.
and his pants just fall down.
Yeah, his pants just fall down even further.
I got him by the balls.
Literally.
And Valeria, knowing what she's after, wants to say, "Your Jarl isn't here at the moment. Where is he?"
You hear him stutter a bit, and he says, "That Jarl's out of town, roughly 1 moon away." And you recognize the same automatic response.
I start wiggling the blade from side to side a little bit, not along the cutting edge, but just
left and right.
And that's a bit more accuracy, please.
He doesn't want to be found. But he would never leave his home. He's always watching.
Doesn't want to be found. And I expect you want to keep your balls. I still think there's some wiggle room here.
We can do that what we want now.
He says, let me think for a second.
What it's gonna come down to is his loyalty to the Jarl worth his ball sacks, and or can he convince me that he doesn't know anymore?
He is going to say, I don't know where the Jarl is, but he's always watching. He's never more than a day away.
Always watching, never more than a day away, eh? What would make him come back?
he says, this captain is more than capable enough. He would never need to unless... And he kind of stops, and you wiggle the sword a tiny bit closer, and he goes,
Yeah.
not unless you threaten his home.
Well then.
If an invasion or someone were to directly attack his estate. He starts crying.
Poor guy.
Why did it have to be a fae with balls? There's so many types of fae without balls, and it just so happened to be a bald fae.
Hey,
bald fae.
Hey, it's yeah, that's what he tells you.
Yeah, I have one last avenue of interrogation. Depending on how much time she has, I don't know the urgency, but the last kind of question, because that's 3 questions. The last question I think would be, what is it that's a day away? Like, if he's always never more than a day away, where is it that he could be? That's like, I know he probably doesn't want to tell. I feel like, as I said, it will come down to, is his loyalty worth his balls?
He hesitates,
or if he can convince me that he doesn't know it any better, right?
He hesitates a while. Doesn't seem to like understand the question fully. I'm just gonna narrate this a bit because I don't think you'll mind. But he kind of hesitates and like stutters on like, oh, what's an hour? What do you mean an hour away? Like, he kind of confused about the question, and then he starts thinking of, oh, there's a farm, and there's something else, and and as he's like,
well, maybe I said hour, but I meant day.
A day.
I think you understand the connection.
And as he's like guessing this, I imagine you carefully slip your sword out and manage to sneak away without him noticing, because he still feels like the cold, like, the phantom. He still thinks it's there, and you're just like slipping away. And just as you manage to leave, you hear his last idea, because he is confused about the question. He doesn't quite understand what you mean. But the last thing he thinks is like, oh, it could just be hunting. He only leaves the Jarl state to hunt. Why else would he leave? Are you still there? And then he's you're gone by now. That was the last thing you heard, is you're gone. But he's like, he hesitates a very long time before he eventually looks over his shoulder, and you're nowhere near him. You're not even there. He's like, oh, my unborn children.
I imagine like he's still standing there, just looking over for nicks on his ball sack when like another patrol walks by and going like, Fenric, what the fuck are you doing?
Get a room. He's like stood there investigating his balls. Get a room.
Yeah. But yeah, that sounds about right. Slips away.
Yeah. So you managed to get some information and you slipped away. We cut back to the heated discussion, and it seems like you're a bit at an impasse. The Seneschal is still, or rather, the captain is still very much. You're the ones accusing us. This is a neutral zone. Not falling for the intimidation at all. And also, like, he kind of like does the almost one step closer to Alistair, puffing up his chest. Like, who's stronger? Huh? Come on, bro. He's kind of like there. But while they're discussing, while they're comparing army sizes, Arabella and Bonhedig do come to like okay, we need to find a middle ground, because this is going nowhere.
Yeah.
We need to do.
Honestly, this works well because Alistair can just like distract the commander while I'm doing the actual like diplomacy stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You guys are basically butting heads, and yeah, you and Baldheading are.
I just realized that what we need here is we need to do a like nuclear inspection. We need to see if we can find rebel elements
Yeah.
hiding in the wells.
So I think what we'll do is we'll do this like a skill challenge, but with 2 tracks.
Okay.
Mhm.
So each round, the 3 of you can pick intimidation or diplomacy. And if you succeed, you get a victory point, basically. The
Mhm.
first one to reach 5 wins, basically. However, depending on which wins, intimidation or diplomacy, will have different results. And if like you have bad rolls on one, you might want to change over, kind of, if you get what I mean.
Mhm.
It's a bit of a risk reward, but it's kind of simulates like the flow of the conversation. So I'll say already you have 1 diplomacy.
Mhm.
Like so. And I want you to. We'll go to the round 2, and this goes until one of them wins, basically, or they might like get tired if you fail too much. They'll just decide the situation, right? Because you're not getting anywhere. So we'll go for round 2. All 3.
Basically, what you if you wanted to emulate like the influence type system, you could do a we roll initiative, and then you say we have like 5 rounds, because then it's like 5 rounds. Then it means we need 5 successes, or like critical success. It means 2. Like say 6 rounds.
Yeah,
right?
it's kind of like that, but I'm doing a bit more freeform.
Because then you can also do like perceptions to find out like what's their weak, like what can kind of influence, what's the best role to make.
Yeah. But I'll just this is just a soft thing.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's just yeah. And I'll letting you 3 roll basically at the same time. You can pick if you want to wait until like Mats, if you want to wait until Fabhawk is done.
Yeah, I wanna see you with diplomacy. Actually, okay. So I don't know, Dagwellen, what sort of abilities you have to participate here, but do you have because you can aid, right?
I can maybe. I am not a smooth talker. I don't have deception or diplomacy or integration.
I had a cooperative nature as well.
Yeah. Then I
saw you had untrained.
I do have untrained improvisation, so that gives me something.
Yeah, I'd suggest if you're not trained in diplomacy or deception, for that matter, or intimidation, then I would suggest you sit it out, because if you fail on a roll, you give 1 towards them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better.
I mean, then you can potentially do other things then,
Yes,
like perception or like insight of different kinds, or like.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at looking.
So then I will say that Alistair and Arabella, you go first.
Yeah.
So Arabella, if you want to go first.
Yeah.
On this round.
I am basically then like with him, like, okay, we both agree we don't want conflict. You have the rebels outside, and they are currently torching our lands, and we don't want that to spread. We need to have like a good spot where we can talk and discuss how we can work together to stop the rebels. So I'm going along with their story of them not being allied with the rebels. And like, okay, and that's to talk and cooperate. That's my kind of the angle I'm going to now first.
Yep.
And I will roll the diplomacy. Blind? Or
yeah,
because of a skill check.
Blind, because I don't want you to roll easy. Like, you'll know if it's a success or not. I'll tell you straight away.
Yeah, I do have 2 hero points, so I will use them if I fail.
That is a success. And then, Alistair, do you want to do diplomacy or intimidation?
I think I will start with intimidation to sort of build on. I think mostly I will say this is going to be up to my flaw here. I'm going to play a little bit about that. As I think he sort of successfully goaded me, I guess. So I am going to do like 1 track of intimidation at least.
Yeah.
Basically, sort of wanting to, he's not as fey as they come, obviously, so he doesn't trigger my racism.
I mean, he does
quite yet.
He does a bit. He's got black skin and pointy ears. He is unseelie.
He's still like human size and human shaped.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. He's humanoid, very much.
He's not a fucking fox.
No.
He's not a fucking fox. Because that would have triggered my racism.
Yeah.
All right, let's do intimidation then.
That is a success. Just
wonderful.
checking. You don't have. Do you have anything special, like any special senses or detections or anything? Any of you?
I have Aura Sight, but I don't think that works here. And I have Sense Allies.
Aura-sight is very useful here.
Oh, I can use, yeah.
They're being deceptive.
Yeah, I can, probably next round I'll try and use Aura Sight at the same time, maybe then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aura Sight is, you must focus on the target without blinking.
Well, I can
for 1
focus
minute.
on Seneschal afterwards, so.
Without blinking for 1 minute, you're just
talking.
gonna stare him down.
Yeah. Staring contest. I feel like that's very on topic.
You can do this while performing other tasks such as conversations. So yes, I'll allow that.
Yes.
Very wonderful.
Yeah, I'll allow you.
And I would get the target's current attitude to me.
Yeah, so you get the current.
You roll the secret occultism check.
Yeah, right. I roll an occultism. What else is there? Sense allies. Yeah, doesn't really help. I mean, you're sensing that the woman you met on the bridge might be useful if the shit hits the fan. But apart from that, mountain strategy.
Am I noticing that she's there?
No.
No.
No, you sensed it like it was kind of more like a, because it's like humans stick together kind of thing, right? So it's more like when you saw her, it's like, okay, we have an ally in town if this does turn to war.
Yeah.
It's more like that kind of sense. It's not a supernatural thing. And then there's mountain strategy. That's
Nope. That's me trying to make a custom aura.
okay. Turn on secret then, because otherwise I think you're telling me something.
How do I do it?
Above the where you put in the dice, you can select. There's like 4 big buttons. Public.
Self roll.
Yep. There you go. Yeah. So that was a success on the intimidate as well. I'm going to roll blind GM roll. I could just do GM roll, yeah. Just to see what theirs are, I'm just going to do them together and.
Yeah, against Seneschal's DC.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. No, this was their rolls for the round.
Oh, okay.
Just to know if they're getting annoyed at you or not. Okay, and then there is a blind against Seneschal's DC. There you go. Of course, that selected him, but hang on, yeah, that selected him. Let me just. You are selected now. Click the button. That's better. Because otherwise it doesn't add your modifiers. Also, yeah, you could actually, reading it now, you could actually roll that yourself as long as you turn on blind. Because it,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because the whole
Yeah.
the point is that it's secret. Only I know the answer. But it's
Yeah. Okay. I'll.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Next time.
So what do you learn? You learn that he is definitely hostile towards you. You are, after all, like, arguing. So that's not really a surprise. The current attitude.
Well, there's hostile, there's annoyed.
Yeah, it doesn't mean hostile like he wants to kill you. It means hostile as in he's not friendly. He's and he's not indifferent. He is definitely on the edge. Angry, annoyed, all that kind of. Current apparent emotional state. I'd say his emotional state is cocky. Like, basically, he seems you're pretty, or confident is more the correct emotion. He's definitely confident. And their general assessment of his health, he seems in good conditions. Blah blah blah. Nothing special there. Then there is the roll one that I rolled for. He is definitely being deceptive. He seems to be faking his emotional state. Because you can see if they're faking their attitude or emotional state.
They might not actually be cocky.
You might not. Let's see, what did you roll? You rolled success by 0, so you don't get anything for free. If it was a lot over, I would have given you more, but it was exactly. So that is what you learn, and we can have a new round now. Then.
I'm going to
stick to diplomacy.
Yes, stick to diplomacy. Depends on like how far we've gotten in the actual conversation about like what we have agreed upon. I basically continue to try and diplomacy a plan out of like this meeting.
Yeah. So he is not. He doesn't seem that annoyed yet, which means you still have plenty of time with this conversation. They haven't made any.
I need at least 3 more rounds. So
yeah. They haven't. No, but my point is, you haven't failed to draw him to end it early. He seems to be listening to you and stuff, but he hasn't made any suggestions yet. He's just like he's still on like, yeah, but this is a neutral zone, so what is it you're suggesting? Why don't we just start the talks? Kind of. That's his.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I will also go diplomacy.
Yeah. Then Arabella first.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter. Secret. Yeah, Arabella. And then I will. Okay, I don't think I need to write this because that is 5 successes on diplomacy.
Well, let's go.
Nice.
Because as you're discussing, and Arabella and Bonhedig are like, okay, well, let's just get some chairs and some food and start the talks. And then, Alistair, I think you realize that the commander or captain is he seems to be he's looking for a fight. And so you're like, you've been kind of like fucking Faye, right? And you're just like, no, we are here on a diplomatic mission. I need to calm the fuck down. So you're like, I guess you like take your hand off your sword, which just like unconsciously move towards your hilt, and you just like take your hand off, straighten your back, and you're like, "Sir, I am sorry. We are in your home. We shall follow it your way, because you crit."
Hey!
Nice.
And that does seem to like disarm the situation very much.
Does he seem disappointed?
He does seem a bit disappointed. He's also a bit smug, like, "Ha, yes." But he's also like, that could have been fun.
I guess, like, would that mean that we are agreeing to keep the meeting here and like foregoing what we would see as a neutral ground for a meeting?
No. So he does suggest just outside the mansion. But not outside town. Like the whole point is you're coming as emissaries to the town, then it doesn't make sense to leave town.
Yeah.
And they are neutral. That's as long as he's been saying at least.
Yeah.
So I will go back, send us back to this map. And then I will grab those two characters, copy. And let's see. I will say we will use this cliff as it has a beautiful view of the town. And
the little pavilion.
Yes, they have a little pavilion out here to look out over the town. And a servant comes along with tea and biscuits kind of situation. Or being Faye, it's probably more like lemonade and biscuits, something fresh. But yeah, so they have a little pavilion and they set it up, and I'm assuming Valeria as well. You are just in the distance, observing, I assume. Maybe not.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I was thinking that's why I was silent.
And you sit down and start discussions, and the fox is Bonheading is still a bit. You can tell he's still a bit annoyed. Like this isn't something he wanted to deal with today, and he does have some sly remarks every now and then, such as, "Ah, what beautiful weather! I'm so glad I came out to enjoy the sun and not do my job today."
One would think this is your job, doing exactly what you're doing now.
Yeah, as you said, you're the one that's authorized to do the Jarl's job, so you're doing the Jarl's job, so that's your job. I don't say it like that, but I say it like kind of in as a snarky tone as he does.
Yeah.
Counter snark.
But yeah, so you sit down. You don't start the conversation straight away. You wait for the food. Like you've both been to court, and not to court as in like lawyers, but the court as in nobilities. Yeah. So you know that like we wait. You polite. You wait for the food and drink. You have pleasantries first, like properly introducing where you're from, that kind of thing, and then it's okay. Let's get down to business. Now we've calmed the situation down a bit. So, you are emissaries from Camelot. We don't see many of you over here in Exeter.
I expect not.
But
after all, this is not any territory of Camelot.
Indeed. So, what brings you? It was about the war.
Yes, and the skirmishes on the border. As you've seen, they've caused quite a hassle, and according to you as well, seems to be a concern of yours that it might spread to this town as well.
Indeed, we are but a neutral town, harboring Fae. We do not serve her or her rebellion, but you must apologize for our little skefuffle back in the courtyard. We are, of course, worthy of your kind. You can tell he does say that with a hint of disgust at mentioning humans, basically. We are wary of your kind, of course. As far as I've understood it, the whole point of the rebellion is because of the, well, for lack of a better word, Fae hunt from your kind. We, however...
I'm just gonna mention something that might cause us problem here, but I feel it's only fair. Tintagle's Reach, my lance is specifically made for Fae hunts.
Yeah.
It is a weapon of the Fae hunt.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you stay quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or like it's probably so big that I have to like hold it, as like a staff.
Mm-hmm.
Normally. So yes, that is probably not the best of symbols to wear.
Yeah.
But I think it's like a statement piece.
You know what is also funny? Can you remember in the Direwolf main campaign when you went to Shadowfell? Can you remember Azaki's father, the weapon he used?
No.
It was a Welsh spear called Gabolg, which is used to slay dragons.
Oh.
Aha! Nice.
And that is also a Welsh legend. Like, that is an actual British or Welsh legend. So, spears are a thing, yeah.
Actually, I think I would have Tintagle's Reach on silver.
On silver, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, Babok.
Was the Feywild hunt stuff something Camelot is like officially approving of, or like doing stuff? Is that more of the northern country? That's
the northern
more.
The northern country is very on it. Camelot hasn't actively participated, but they are supportive because Camelot is mostly human.
But is the Fey hunt like officially more of a? Is it like, oh, it is hunting season, let's go? Or is it more of a, hey, those things are attacking us, so we are like kind of doing the same in retaliation?
Yeah. So Mercia, they actively hunt Fey. If you're Fey, you're killed on the spot. If you're suspected of being Fey, you are most likely hanged the day after. They are actively hunting Fey. Camelot doesn't condone senseless murder of Fae, but it's kind of like real life racism where Camelot is like, something bad happens, it was probably a Fae. Right? They blame Fae, but that's not an official like law in the state. Like the Arthur and the knights, they try to uphold a equal law for everyone, but it's more like in the minds of the people. Like Fae are to blame.
Yeah.
And
it's like we don't kill Fae, we kill criminals.
Yeah.
But a lot of Fae are criminals.
Yeah.
Just so happens that the two are overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's kind of Camelot's stance, and it has been seen that like Fae are fleeing Camelot because they can't get good jobs, they are persecuted when they probably are innocent, that kind of thing. But they're not being actively hunted in Camelot, and Arthur has never supported the hunt of Fae.
Okay. Yeah. I'll probably bring up then a little bit of this. Like, I'm not sure how I would do it, but like Arabella would probably be as good about it as any.
You would have like, ironically, you would have the copy-paste speech that these two have, but with like Camelot does not support the hunting of Fae.
Yeah, basically, we're doing the official thing. Like, we understand Mercia is not great at the moment, and like, I am sympathetic to their reasoning for being this, but it is still wrong and causing harm to people, and as you know, and you have admitted, it can potentially become a problem for you. Therefore, we seek to ally or like to work together kind of deal. It's like kind of like a
considering they're Fae, I guess what would be good for us would be like a deal, like an official deal, because that would be
one thing I would
very
like.
The problem is that if they are indeed rebels, that would be a bad faith deal, which means that they would monkey's paw it.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, if it's a bad faith deal, well, I mean, if they're the one, wait, can they do that? Like, if they make the deal, does it matter that they don't like it?
That's the whole vibe with Fae deals, is that they will twist and turn on the wording to get what they want. So obviously, if you have a bad faith deal, they will do the twisting.
Also, if
they will try their best.
Also, especially for you, Alistair, who is skeptical and superstitious.
I've done a deal before.
Yeah, especially you who is superstitious. You also know that if you go into a Fae contract with, like, a Fae contract, that is, like, for them it is law, right? It's binding. If they break a contract, they are dead, pretty much, right? They can't break contracts. It's just not in their DNA. So for them, yes, they are locked in it. But you know that mortals can break the contract. However, if a mortal breaks a Fae contract, that's kind of like the Fae has access to your hair strand and can curse you now, kind of, right? Because the contract is powerful magic for them as well.
Yeah.
So you know that.
I wouldn't Arabella would not suggest like a Fae contract or anything like that. Like she would probably potentially propose one. Like we can try and see if the human laws can be changed in Camelot. And two, potentially, if you guys have any information about, the leaders of the rebels, we can see if we can try and, talk to them specifically, since you guys are neutral. Or, basically airing, ideas of, or, also kind of prodding them for, what are your actual plans? Just defensive of, the city and not getting involved? It's kind of, a general...
And we can also offer to train their, militia in defensive techniques. I
would also like to add just about the regional tactics or situation. Yeah, something. I think this is more of an Alistair thing that you would know, because it's not really that interesting for Arabella. But just situational, political situation in tactical terms. Mercia, as you know, if you open the map with Jay, Mercia is the pro-human, anti-Fae. Exeter and Camelot are mostly neutral. As I said, there's racism going on towards the Fae in both of them. And the west side, basically Wales and Cornwall areas and stuff, they are mostly pro-Fae, especially Wales, or Gwynedd, as it looks like it's called on the map, the northwest of Camelot. That is very pro-Fae, which means because right now it's still just rebels going on. Mercia kills Fae, of course, but it's just humans killing Fae in other places are basically bandits, and the same goes for the Fae killing humans. They are basically rebels. But if an actual all-out war is officially declared and armies start to march, then Camelot is the middle ground, right?
Yeah, and Camelot would be the main kind of where we would be fucked.
Yeah, so Camelot needs to basically would have to choose a side. And Camelot is mostly human, which is...
So it would likely have to side with Mercia.
Yes. So from a tactical standpoint, Alistair, you realize that is probably why there's so many Fae attacks, because they're trying to shift the balance and make Camelot more favorable to Fae in that sense.
Oh, so they are attacking Camelot to be like, hey, look, we're friends.
I'm confused about their...
No, they're attacking Camelot because they are trying to weaken the human strength and make Fae... You've never been able to catch someone in it, but you've assumed they have these attacks, and then they have an insider in Camelot court saying that trying to twist it to be hey, if we ban like prosecution of Fae and like support the Fae, then there won't be attacks. They're attacking out of desperation. We need to.
Yes.
They're trying to get us to appease them.
To kowtow to the terrorists.
They're trying to build up sympathizers for the Fae. Is what you gather.
So
doing it in a very badly way, but sure.
I mean, they are.
I think Alistair has a paranoia that Mercia will use any war as an excuse to annex Camelot, because Mercia has always been, belligerent in that regard. They're very powerful, and Camelot, has remained neutral. But I think Alistair swears that this will be a, basically Mercia will be like, oh, either you get fucked by the Fae, or we come, but then, we demand like Andor or whatever. We demand this territory that we've had a claim on for a while, right? And then we'll help you. Some shit like that. So I think Alistair really wants there to not be a war, even though he wouldn't mind killing some Fae in a war. So I think, I think we suggest that, okay, obviously our intention is to ferret out whether or not they are with the rebels. So Alistair wants to look at their troops and a more like detailed look at their garrison. That's why he suggested training their troops, because that could be a way. And also, if ultimate goal is if they know the rebel leaders, get us a meeting with the rebel leaders, or basically distance yourself from the rebels in some material way, so that it's you can't just sort of twist and turn your way into the rebels' arms without consequence.
Also, probably like trying to put a bit of a like not pressure, but like making a note like Mercia is like the very anti-Fae, and Camelot is currently neutral. And like the rebels doing what they're doing might actually make them more anti-Fae. So it's in everyone's best interest to stop the rebels so that we can actually work on the betterment of the relationship between humans and Fae.
I think that is
so we can avoid the war, because no one wants the actual war. Like even if Esketir is not going to be the main battlefield, if a war happens, they are also probably fucked.
Yeah. Basically, I think impressing upon them that what the rebels are doing is counterproductive, and they need to be stopped before things escalate into a full-on war. And I think hinting at the fact that, this is a war that, humans are so numerous and would band together. Currently, you have the bonus of, not having a common enemy, but the moment you give us a common enemy, you're fucked.
In politer words, of course.
In politer words, obviously. But yeah. Basically, give us the rebels.
Yeah. I'm using diplomacy, you're probably using your war lore to kind of explain the war tactical things.
I'm using I think using Fae lore to kind of use their internal kind of, not politics, but their inner, like their workings. Because obviously the Fae are also not probably as internally coherent. As they probably have same issues as humans, where not all of them are going to follow the same direction. There's probably some internal conflict there as well, so taking advantage of that could be a good idea.
So, during your conversation, and I heard everything you're saying, and what they were how they were basically reacting, and obviously the Seneschal mentions when you say like, oh, we're like trying to stop the rebels from attacking because it's counterproductive. Seneschal is obviously like, oh, but we have no way of contacting them. We are not aligned with them. And you continue saying like, it's counterproductive, and like attacking humans is the worst way to get them on your side, kind of.
Yeah.
And because I rolled, but Captain Varen had a little sly remark under his breath, which you weren't supposed to hear, but you did. Where he mutters, "Well, if there's less humans, then there's less opponents."
Hmm.
So you can clearly tell he's your nemesis now, Alistair, because he is very anti-human. Clearly.
The perfect form for racist. Another racist.
Who heard that?
Douglin and Alistair heard it.
Okay. So yeah, I think Alistair sort of perches up a little. He's gonna take a look and see sort of the terrain, and like, obviously we've chosen this place seems rather open, so it's should be quite difficult to like do an ambush or like attack us on this position. Yeah,
you can roll a perception, all three of you. To just like scout the area.
Roll.
You keep rolling.
Ah!
Yeah.
No, this was DM only, but I also see it, which I suppose wasn't intended, but
no, it has to be blind GM, really.
yeah.
So yeah.
But I mean, with a result like that.
Yeah, I guess.
Come on.
Yeah, you can keep it. I'm just checking.
Yeah.
That was perception. Yeah. Okay.
With the way you would have described it, it would have. I would probably have gathered that it was a success.
Yeah, I'll allow Valeria to roll as well, because you're probably scouting the area anyway with your eyes. I'll let you roll this as well. So all of you agree with what Alistair said, that it's not a great place for an ambush. Out in the open, you have a clear view of anyone who would approach from any angle. Of course, bear in mind as well, like the size of the map. You are not right against the wall, right?
Yeah.
You are all. It's a big area you're stood in. So there's that. So you wouldn't be charged by an army anytime soon. Not even like a single person could be able to sneak up on you where you are now, if that's what you're worried about. Including Valeria, who's not there.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You could probably people could hide next to the castle on the walls watching you, but they wouldn't be able to get close enough to hear you or attack you.
Yeah. Okay.
However, Douglin, with your crit, because you crit, you have a startling revelation, and that is the fact that roughly half of Fae population can fly. And so people could be hiding under the cliff or up on the mountain or on the castle walls and still get to you reasonably quick if they needed to.
Right.
So you realize that being out here, like now that you're out here, you realize out here is actually a worse situation for you than in the castle, because in the castle you would have the same walls as they did.
Interesting.
I mean, they could still fly over the walls.
Yeah, but you can use cover inside the castle. Out here, you are in the open, and they are not.
No.
So starting a fight right now is very bad for us.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been worse before when they had fucking crossbowmen on the roof.
Yeah. You didn't know about the crossbowmen, though.
No. That's what I'm saying. They would basically have to get close to even with wings, but with wings they could get close quickly.
Yeah.
That's basically what okay. But I think then should we just sort of cut to the chase?
It depends on what you mean by chase, because
Arabella and
I don't think they want to have a. Well, the thing is, like, I don't think they actually want this diplomacy. They seem not open to it at all.
That's why I'm saying ultimatum.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
because-
before you continue, I'm gonna say one thing. Like the conversation between Bonhedig and Arabella. Yes, you the two men in the party heard the remark from Varian that he clearly thinks the world would be better off with less humans in it. But the conversation between Bonhedig and Arabella, the way you understand it is that he does seem for like a peace treaty, basically. But he is also very much like, we're a neutral party in a different country, and you come to us offering a peace treaty for a war we're not even part of. He's trying to turn your logic against you and see, like, why did
this
you
isn't a peace... This isn't a peace treaty, this is a non-aggression pact. This is basically going... This is not... Non-aggression pact is between two peaceful countries that there is a promise, a binding promise that there will be no open hostility between these two, the two negotiators, right? The two factions.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, after...
No, because peace is, keeping, like, going from a hostile to peaceful is peace treaty.
It's agreeing to not punch each other. That's the same thing, whether it's a peace treaty or a non-hostile.
No, it really isn't though. Like a non-aggression one is like we are making sure we are not going to start anything. Well, the other one is more for like we are doing stuff and we are doing a ceasefire. So and because they very early on started talking to us like, oh no, we are not with them. I shifted my conversation very early on to not go against that statement.
Yeah.
As like we mentioned when we were doing the skill check. I have not actually gone back to saying they are part of the
that's fine.
rebels, right? And gone to like, we need to work together. So I've never actually said you shouldn't attack us or like there's a peace treaty. I've literally just been saying more of a, let's work together to stop these people because that would be good for us so that the war doesn't happen. That will drag you into it, whether you want to or not.
We want to cement the peaceful relations and potentially work together to stop the rebels. Now, obviously, that is the overt ask. We obviously know and suspect that is something they cannot provide because they are with the rebels, obviously. So what we want is to provoke like a part where we can kind of gather evidence or ascertain whether or not they are actually a part.
Or make them change their mind.
Or make them change their mind, but that seems highly unlikely.
I'm an optimist.
Yes. So I think the reason why the ultimatum thing is to sort of save us time, I guess. It's just like, here is what I just said, what we just said is like on the table. Otherwise, we will consider you, part or consorting with the rebels.
I don't think we should go that far and say that we are assuming that. I think that's an Alistair thing, not an Arabella thing.
I think that's what you need when you have an ultimatum. You need to back it up with some sort of threat. That's the point.
Yeah, no, but I don't like that threat. So
okay, because the thing is, otherwise we will essentially, because they will just play along. At the worst that can happen is to just play along with us, and then like nothing happens as a result, and we go like, yeah, we have a non-aggression pact, bye, and then we leave, and then they continue with what they were doing.
No, like I don't think we're gonna leave. We're going to investigate.
I'll let you stew on that for a moment, as I want to cut over to Valeria, who didn't decide to roll a perception. So I'm assuming you're not slinking around the outskirts. What is Valeria doing?
You muted yourself.
You weren't muted before.
Classic.
The classic, I want to talk, so I mute myself.
Yes. I start talking, and then, like, why is nobody responding? Why is everybody talking over me?
Traffic.
Well, while you guys are doing your negotiating,
which were not cut short.
I think Valeria is going to have a... What did you say?
Which were not cut short.
It was a real possibility. right? I'm not missing anything
No,
here.
no.
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
wasn't actually
yes.
cut short.
No, I was
Yeah.
looking. There it is.
You were right
Yeah.
about one thing, Master.
Hmm?
The negotiations.
Negotiations.
Yeah, negotiations were short. It's probably
Ah.
quiet with the wrong sound.
Ah.
Yeah.
Valeria's gonna have a poke around, and knowing that what she knows, she's going to have a see if she can find the Jarl's study, Earl Jarl's study.
Jarl of Jarl.
He does have a name. You just never have
and,
learned it. But anyway, yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is it Jarle?
Mm.
No.
And see if there's look for some telling weakness or something to exploit.
Mm.
So sneaking about
So then
the
I would
sneaking.
like a stealth check from you.
I hope my stealth is good. I am at least trained in stealth.
Do it as a blind.
A rogue and you're not an expert? What is this?
I'm a ruffian. It didn't seem that relevant.
Yeah, so I just need to check some DCs. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, so you sneak around. You find some libraries and studies in like a room which seems like I don't know what it would be called in medieval terms, but like the accountant room basically, where all the paperwork is done.
That's very evil.
Yep.
Yeah.
Accountants. They also
I find some ledgers.
Yeah,
ledgers, maybe.
Yeah, you just find some ledgers and stuff. Also, it's a room for accountants and lawyers, so that's definitely evil.
Yes.
But no, you find some ledgers. Yeah. I'll say like the building is 3 stories. You've explored the first floor. And you find this. You can spend some more time to search through the ledgers, or you can check the second floor. What do you want to do?
Let's see. Did I?
Do you have any inkling on what you want to do?
Yes. I was fresh character. I thought maybe I had the feet for this, but I don't. So I just had to give a quick look.
You have to use your hands.
Yes. No, just gonna continue. Just quickly. I'm not gonna take my time too much, I think.
Yep. So you search the second floor, and there is some libraries and extra dining rooms up here, of course. And you do find some bedrooms for guests and likely the commander and seneschal. Something that strikes you as odd is that you don't find a clear master bedroom, as it's called. There is another stairwell up though. So I'm assuming you're going to go up.
Yeah, let's go up.
Yeah, I am going to DM you what you find because
awesome.
Yeah, this I do want you to not reveal yet.
That's fine. Thomas is typing ...
It can't you don't need to roll. You know what that is. That is what you find.
Good.
Just thinking. Yeah, that's what you find. So that is going to take a bit of time. You're exploring the house, and we've kind of hand waved your timeline a bit, which is fine. So and your stealth roll is good, so you manage to sneak out again when the time comes.
Nice.
Back to the other party. They seem what he's basically saying is that of course they can help you if there's anything you need, but they don't want to make an official stance, because if they do like officially have a like an agreement and a partnership kind of thing, then they fear the wrath of Mercia, because then they will have taken a stance in the war.
Well, they would have taken a human-friendly stance, though. So they wouldn't. What if we can provide them? What if we can?
But
what if we can provide them protection against Mercia, like diplomatic? Basically, I mean, that is actually what happens in a non-aggression pact. Is that you have
he says
a signatory,
he asks,
like a third party.
He asks for proof. Do you have the authority to provide such protections? You are a million knights, are you not? If our historians are correct, your leader is a Sir Arthur.
Yes.
Alistair will suggest that this is obviously something that needs to be negotiated with Mercy as well. But if because if they decide to embark upon this path, this would be a pretty landmark deal, right? So it's not something that we can just agree on here and now. We are just here to begin negotiations.
Well, then I suggest that negotiations have begun and are thus forth cut short. Come back when you have the authority of Arthur.
And I think, Alistair says, we do have the authority of Arthur, yet we lack the diplomatic weight of Mercia for the moment. But before we engage upon such a diplomatic course, we need assurances that you are serious about it, as involving emissaries from Mercia will, well, force your hand if you decide against it.
He says he stands up and approaches the edge and like gestures towards the village and says, "We are but a Fey community located on the northwestern reaches of Exeter. We do not speak for all of Exeter. If you wish to march an army into our borders to show your might against Mercia, a human might, you would still need permission from Mercy, not from me."
Why would we? What?
Alistair says.
Sorry, no, I'm not just confused.
Alistair says, this is more to do with how your city comports itself diplomatically, Lord Bonhedig, Sir Bonhedig, with a sir, not a sir. We offer, if you are sincere, to negotiate on your behalf with Mercia, to ensure that Mercia itself does not aggress upon thee. If that is what you fear with negotiating with Camelot.
Also, we have no interest in marching our army onto your border. If that is what you think our goal is, that is blatantly not the case.
He stops and thinks for a moment. I tire of this charade. Tell me plainly, sirs, What is it you want?
I thought you Fae liked your games.
Our games are more on a personal level. You come here as as emissaries of a neighboring state to interrogate our fine village in seek of what? What is it you want?
Can I speak plainly then? And I stand up and I look at him straight in the eye. We wish the rebels that are tormenting our countryside to be stopped. And to do so, we need to take care and speak to or confront their leader. You have claimed you do not ally yourself with such a person, of whom you have not proven evidence, but I digress. However, your space is you have far higher chance of getting us in contact with such a person than we ourselves have on our own in a peaceful manner. And neither us nor you, I hope, would want unnecessary war that is going to cause casualties on all sides. We are trying to reach for a diplomatic end to this entire scuffle before it's too late. Especially before Mercia comes in and lay waste to both the states. Or should I speak even more plainly than that?
Well, as I have said countless times, we are a neutral party. We have nothing to do with the rebels. But if...
Yet you have an army.
It is for defense.
Then you know. Then you wish that defense doesn't need to be used. You do not wish for a war that you can see coming. Then it would be in your best interests to help make sure that war does not happen.
Yes, and if I ever learn her location, I shall tell it to you. But we do not know who these rebels are or where they come from.
It's for agreeing that you will give us such information if you should come across it.
Thank you for making such a promise, dear Bonhedig.
Could I have a look at his face?
Yes. You may.
Can I aim my eyes facewards?
You can all of you can do a perception, not just.
Mm-hmm.
Alistair, you picked up on something.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Alistair, you might not have picked up on something, but Sir Alistair did.
I will pick it up soon.
He said, if I ever learn her location or who she is, I will tell you. He clearly knows it's a she.
Yeah, I know. I've noticed this many times now.
So he clearly knows who she is.
Yeah, exactly.
Had a misstep on purpose.
Yeah, so I think he's had that before.
Yeah.
Alistair kind of folds his arm and says, so, if you knew where she was, you would tell us. If you knew who she was, you would tell us. Yet you have done neither. Yet you knew both.
He seems like he is like how when you insult someone to their face, he's like kind of oh, you hurt me, sir. And he doesn't say that, but he has the kind of like shocked Of course not.
Where are the white gloves?
Of course I do not.
As well, you keep referring to them as her, which is surprising if you didn't know.
I merely assumed females.
Why would you assume such a thing?
Female Fae are way more, how should I say it, determined than the men. You don't need to roll, Alistair. You know that's bullshit. He's trying to play on the fact that you're not Fae.
Yes. And that is why there's such representation among the women folk in your hierarchy as of late.
Yeah, I mean, if I was born a woman, I would be the Jarl herself, not the Seneschal.
But the Jarl is male, isn't he not?
Yes.
You seem to be speaking ill of the character of your regent.
I would never do such a thing. And if he were here, he would not need to.
So it seems then you're... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, you come to our home and you threaten us, sirs. If you are indeed here seeking a friendly resolution, then I propose you start offering a gift of good faith. You have done nothing for us except accuse us of rebelry.
We have indeed offered good dealings.
Here. Yes, you are most certainly true. How rude. And then I take the 4-leaf clover of the of silver, and I say, "Here, a token." And I hand him the 4-leaf clover.
That's so rude.
Yeah.
Is there a token?
He takes it and looks at it with such disdain.
You got my 4-leaf clover so lucky.
Maybe as a human believe.
Humans are lucky.
Oh, I have now offered you a gift, have I not, Faye?
He kind of looks at you with like the deadest expression ever. And he says, "Fine." He spits in his hand and offers it out to shake yours. And I offer some of my life's fluid in exchange.
Right back at you.
I look at a trade for truth then.
Fine. He wipes his hand on his jacket and just tosses the 4-leaf clover to the side. And says, "But you are still in my home, so I bid you speak a truth first. I do not believe you are here for negotiation with us. I believe you are here for some ulterior motive. So speak your truth, and so shall I."
I think Alistair will just smile and fold his arms and says, "I am here to protect my realm and liege lord."
Well, you're not in your realm or near to your lord. One does not simply send a sorceress and a knight to be emissaries. Why are you here?
You talk to this to speak to the Jarl about the rebels.
The Jarl is neither here nor does he confine with the rebels.
Is he not?
The truth? Oh, but the Jarl might not be dead. But might be dead.
Have a little stare at him while you're asking this, if you know what I mean.
You can. You can.
Yeah, no, I am. Is he not?
Yeah, you can roll an intimidation with that.
No. I mean the fucking sense.
Sense aura to you.
Oh
yeah, aura.
Yeah, you can do that and roll an intimidation because you are asking a loaded
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
You can do both, though.
Yeah. Oh this is our site that there is. That's done, and that is
Are you
blind GM roll for the
aiding
occultism.
Alistair with the intimidation?
Yeah, I get +4 on aid.
Yeah.
As well.
So then, you succeed with your intimidation,
I
Alistair,
should also.
which means Arabella, you have a +1 on your. Actually, let me check if you.
My intimidation is terrible.
Crit is 15. Crit is 25.
On aid. Yeah, no, but on
Aid, yeah.
So it's just a normal aid. But and the occultism, I
Do
see.
I roll?
Yeah, roll an intimidation with +1.
+1. Okay, I think that's correct. That should have a +1 as well. I will roll if I have to.
Circumstances +1. Reroll. That is a fail. Yeah, because you have 2 hit points.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm using a that actually saved you because I have turned on because I use Direwolf Legends to try stuff as well, like modules and settings and stuff. And I am trying something called where was it? It's in I'm revealing this because it happened. I think it's in quality. I can't remember it is. It's a homebrew rule, or not a homebrew, a house rule. Yeah, here it is. It's a house rule called Keeley's Hero Point rule, which is one of the Paizo developers who has a different version of hero points, which is a lot more fair for you. So when you spend a hero point, because you are spending a limited resource, if your reroll is less than 10, you get 10.
Damn.
But only on hero points, because you are spending a resource.
Yeah.
So your hero point was worse. You rolled a 2. So which made it a 10, which made it better than your original roll.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I have 4. So I got 15 then.
17.
Right. 17. Please.
+4 charisma, +1 circumstance.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
And then the roll itself as well. So yeah. Anyway, it resulted in 17. How the math is a math.
Nice.
Anyway. So you get a 17, which is not the best, but it's enough for Bonhedic, not enough for Varen. And your occultism was very good. So you definitely know what's going on. He's definitely unfriendly. He is definitely not speaking the truth about something. You don't know exactly what. His emotional state is starting to get, it's not starting, it is stressed. And yeah, so you, what was the last thing you asked? What was your threatening ask?
It was like, isn't he? For like when he said a Jarl wasn't here, and like, yes, like we agree to speak the truth.
He said, he says, I admit he is not so far away, but he is clearly not here. Otherwise, we would have all seen him. He takes his arms out.
Considering he's not been seen for a long time, officially, it would not be too strange if he was just, up in his room or something.
Oh, he's not in the castle, I can assure you that, but he prefers to remain the faithful watcher, never seen, but always protecting. He kind of stops, and you see his emotion. His eyes goes wide for a second, realizing that he probably said a bit more than he should have done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he's always watching, then he can come down here and talk to us directly. I've stopped being polite.
Yeah. He DM is thinking, not him.
And I'm saying that kind of out in the space instead of saying it directly to him.
Yeah. He does stumble a bit on his words, and Varian will step up and say, as the Lord Seneschal said, you come here demanding stuff from us, yet you have not presented anything for us. As I decide,
we presented an opportunity to speak so we could confer and discuss any
you offer
trade or
an opportunity to speak in our own home. Well, I am going to be the politest man ever and offer you an opportunity to leave.
What I would like to offer.
He looks at you as the person who has mostly been in the back just listening. He kind of looks at you like, are you still here?
Now, I believe the core of our offer, behind any pretense and any agenda, is an offer of good and peaceful relations. It is becoming an increasingly tense situation, not necessarily because of your efforts, but situations are unfolding. And this is an official emissary from we are. I say we.
You have the letter.
We are official emissary.
You had the letter as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Wonderful. We are official emissaries from Camelot. The offer is an opportunity to improve and maintain relations. If you answer negatively to that, that is your prerogative, and we will leave with that in mind. If you wish relations to worsen, that can be accommodated.
That can be accommodated.
It also gives us a good way to leave the situation where we will not be ambushed by like 100 Fae at the same time.
Yeah, I'm saying, hey, this is why we're here. You can do with that what you will.
I like Daglan.
They have already stood up and like motioning towards heading back to the castle.
Oh yeah, no, I stood up a long time ago.
But they obviously have stopped to talk. The Seneschal says, the way I see it is this war of yours will not affect us. We are a small village. Sorry, wrong button. We are a small village in Exeter, protected by the ruler of Exeter. We have nothing to do with your war, and as far as we see it, if Mercia and Gwynedd decide to go at war, it is your northern Camelot which is at risk. It has nothing to do with us. Now, as I said, if I learn of the whereabouts of the rebel leader, I may send a missive. But unless you give us something in return, we have nothing else to offer. You are invading our home.
Invading is a strong word.
And then they start to move back towards the manor.
Very well.
I don't think they appreciated your gift.
We are taking your answers and response into consideration. And I give a bow, and I turn around.
Been many years since I tossed the troll off a cliff.
Alistair sort of strokes the mane of Silver and then whispers,
"That went better than expected."
As he continues and follows Arabella.
I whisper to you guys as we leave as well, like, I think it's to find a Jarl.
I think first it is time to see what else the villagers know.
Oh, they're not gonna tell us shit.
Well, we'll see.
I'm gonna go towards just the base.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Because assuming we are not that much left of the session.
Yeah, we will be ending it soon. Yeah. There's now 2 Dougs on my screen. Whatever. He's gone.
So, Alistair, I believe you do have a date.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
Well, the date is where we are.
so we can do a whatchamacallit, an Ocean's 11 style interrogate or talking to town when the need arises, or in other words, next session.
Yeah.
But because I would like to skip a bit to the evening when you get back to town or back to your camp.
By the willow tree.
By the willow tree, and start discussing how the day went. And I'm assuming, speaking of dates, I'm assuming someone approaches your camp. Am I correct? Yes.
Yes. Travel-worn sandals.
Hail, Valaria.
Salute, warriors.
It's good to see you took us up on the offer. I hope your day has borne more fruit than ours.
Depends which orchard you were looking. What kind of apples you were looking for? And she tosses an apple, and she's eating on the way here.
Well, let's just say that the fox has the hen house.
I'll skip any riddles. Your people are far too fond of them. I think I know what you're here after. It's a complicated political situation. Am I correct?
You could say that.
Yeah.
Fortunately for you, you have had an ally in the shadows.
I don't know those.
We're both trying to unmount.
That is, if you...
We were both trying to unmount. I'll let you do it, Alistair.
Are you just getting off on one side of the horse and getting back up and getting off on the other? Can't decide if you'd look more imposing on the horse or next to it.
I think Alistair sort of at the camp, he's got the tentacles reach sort of out and sort of polishing its cold iron steel.
What kind of weapon is that for? I don't know.
It's it's basically a pike, like a jousting sort of spear. Yeah.
It's that kind of business.
And the iron makes
the spearhead is very fancy. Like, it's very fancy, basically. And it's got the...
I'm from Rome. I've seen fancier.
Well, probably not as, like... this one is impractically fancy.
Have you met the Romans? They just carried sword in addition.
True.
They brought fucking flagpoles with like a bazillion knickermajacks on them into battle.
Yeah.
But anyway, you've had an ally in the shadows. That is, if you were looking for one. Why don't you speak clearly? What is it that you're after here?
The rebel leaders. We seek to stop their campaign of terror in the countryside.
And the rebel leaders being in this situation, I take it the Fae?
Yes.
Yes.
We suspect Titania behind it all.
Certainly, aha.
Well, with the way they were talking today, I think we basically got that confirmed.
Yes.
So, I'll let you in on a little. I did a little bit of snooping while you were talking to the fox face.
Yes, you do strike me as the sort.
But sorry, I got distracted. It was like a bird spoke inside my head with messages from the gods.
That don't happen on the planet.
Sorry,
A whisper
Mars.
from Mars.
Sorry, Mars is calling.
Yes. Oh, it's hard to hold a conversation. There's this 8-minute delay every time.
Nice.
No. But yes. So while you were talking to Mr. Foxface, I had a little snoop around. And I think the Jarl of yours might be... how to say this in a way that... Well, if you're looking for the rebels, you basically walked into their home today.
I suspected as much, but what proof do you have?
She pulls out from like inside a pouch. It's small. It's about the size of her palm. The color is hard to tell. When she moves it, it scintillates a bit. And it shifts from blue to silver to white, back to blue to silver to white. Do you know what this is? And she gives it to whoever like is closest, or like maybe Arabella, because you look like the sorcerer person.
Yes.
Or the lord
Sorry,
person.
could you repeat the description of what you gave me?
It's small. It's about the size of a hand. It's flat. It's smooth. And it's scintillating, like the color shifting from blue to silver to white to blue to silver to white. But it's faded. It's hard to tell what color it really is. It's like depending on how the light hits it. You can't really tell.
Can I do some kind of inspection?
You can roll.
This is me freestyling on
Yeah, I
something
know.
Thomas
It's-
gave me,
it's-
so if he actually countermands that might be go with him.
No, it's fine. I will say, yeah, you can do lore master, or you can do arcana.
Not occultism.
No, it's not something occult.
And I will do lore master.
Lore master would be the best for you. Yeah.
I still have a hero point.
That is a silver dragon scale.
Oh.
Yeah, I hold it. I like how to frame it. I just like
From a let's see, you can even
that's big.
You can even get his age because you got a crit.
Yeah.
Just need to find the unmodified token because I have a copy of him.
Its copies all the way down.
No, I made a copy to change the name and token and everything. But that doesn't include the
He's been
age.
masquerading.
Of Aquarius.
Young. He is a young silver dragon scale.
So I think I know what kind of faded Jarl is. This is a dragon scale.
I found that at the top floor at what could only have been a dragon's rooster. So
Yeah.
whoever lives there, lives there.
Probably
Furthermore,
Jarl then.
I also ran through some of his archives getting there. And I only had a casual glance, but it did make mentions of certain troop movements and coordinations, if I was reading them right. I didn't have the time to bring them with me, of course, so you'll just have to take my word for that.
I will also say just some lore for the Camelosians, or however you would say it.
Cameloso?
Camelosan.
Cameloso.
Yeah. That you all pretty much know dragons are very proud and boastful creatures, and since like the war and like the distress in England has begun, like dragons were some of the first to like take a stance in like we are fighting for the Fae, screw the humans, because they are very like protective of their people. They're very boastful and proud, and they would never kneel to someone who is not greater than them, and there's nothing greater than a dragon in their mind. Which is one of the reasons why like you had the nickname Alistair as well, is because you were you weren't a simple guard. You were never aspired to be a normal soldier, right? You were destined for greatness, right? So your nickname as like the Dragon of Cornwall is literally because dragons are like front figures, right?
Yeah, they're regal.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, I think that not only is the Jarl probably in cahoots with rebels, he's probably also actively helping them, because dragons are usually on the side of the Fae.
Dragons.
It's a silver one.
Dragons are regal creatures. It would make sense that they held such deference to the Jarl, and that the town is in such unity.
Well, I'm wondering if the Jarl is the dragon.
Yes, that is what I'm suggesting.
For what it's worth, there was no royal bedchamber anywhere. They're usually somewhere in the main building. There was a dragon's roost.
Yep.
Yes.
I think that confirms it. DM?
Mm-hmm.
Lore-wise, are Pathfinder or /Direwolf following the same thing as D&D with chromatic versus metallic dragons?
Yes and no. So I am following the same thing that chromatic metallic are usually more honor-bound and noble, and chromatic are usually more self-absorbed and self-absorbed and like sinister, I guess.
Okay.
I'm following that, but that doesn't mean they're good or evil. You can have evil, because you can have evil silver dragons, and you can have
a silver dragon. Yeah, a silver dragon protecting his town against what he perceives as human enemies is definitely within what would make sense for a silver dragon to do.
Exactly. And the same goes vice versa. Like if a black dragon, because many high level dragons can polymorph into humans, right? So if a black dragon were to fall in love with a human and build like a bond and a family, that black dragon would protect that village. Even though they are doing it out of selfish reasons, because they don't want to lose their horde, if you call it that, they would still do good acts. So it's a lot more fluid than D&D and Pathfinder, but you can still understand that basically an evil silver dragon is like a devil. It's lawful and tactical and planning, but it's still a war machine, right?
Yeah.
They're closer.
Then it would make sense that it, as described, is always watching. My eyes did not flit skywards in our encounter, but I suspect we would have seen a shadow upon the clouds.
I would like to survey the mountains in the area.
Yeah.
And see if I with my mountain lore can figure out.
Go ahead.
Anywhere dragon.
You can you can use your perception, but I will treat it as a lore skill because
even nicer. Blind general, I assume?
Yeah.
Whoop.
Remember, you still have hero points left.
Sure.
Probably.
If it's bad, I'll hero point.
That's good enough. You see, being like from the mountain and having mountain lore, you obviously know like what kind of geography is good for roosting and hunting for creatures that tend to live in mountains. And you know that this is indeed a very, very good location for that. There's plenty of forests around for wildlife. There is tall mountains with plenty of caves and peaks to rest in. You also remembered back in the town the town is like on a cliff face, the side of a cliff. So there were plenty of places for him to perch in the mountains that you didn't think of looking at. So he could very well have been literally sat up top watching down.
Yeah.
You would also know, being from the mountains, you would also know that you probably haven't met dragons before. They are still quite rare. But you would know that most creatures that live atop mountains, like griffins and dragons and wyverns and like all the big flying mountain creatures, manticores, right? You also know that they tend to have really good eyesight because the whole way they hunt is seeing things from high up. So he could have probably been on top of the mountain and still watched and heard everything because they have good senses.
Yeah. These mountains do make an excellent terrain for a dragon. He might well have been watching. He might well have been watching us, quite literally.
Do you guys want a bit of advice from one who's seen her fair share of monstrous creatures?
Yes, please.
When dealing with something on this scale, the only way to take them down is to control the situation. Pick the place, pick the time, draw the creature in. And a proud creature such as the dragon, who cares a lot about this town, just have to find the right pain points to press on. And it can't help but charge in.
You might be right, but that means we would have to engage it in combat, and I'd rather not slay a dragon unless there are alternatives.
I might be a bit biased, but in war, there is victors and there are losers. No one remembers the losers.
I have an amazing quote, which I think is actually a Roman quote. History is written by the winner.
Yeah.
History is written by the victor, I guess it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is exactly...
It is in that vein.
Yeah, which is basically what you said. No one remembers the losers, because you don't bother writing about them.
All I am worried of is the implications that such actions would have. We would instigate the war that we sought to prevent.
If, and pardon me for saying if, I point to, or gesture to Valeria, the manor does contain documents of troop movements and coordinations. We might not be the ones who started hostilities. My accent is all over the place.
I'm having a hard time understanding you, Martin. So...
Yeah, that's fair. No, if Valeria saw right when she saw documents regarding troop movements and coordinations of attacks, we might not be the ones who start hostilities, even if we engage a dragon in combat. The dragon in combat.
I think a potential good idea would get another glance at those documents.
Also, just a friendly reminder, but bear in mind the mission from Arthur and or Lancelot and Merlin.
No idea what it is.
No, but I know Alistair and Fabhook does, and that is that your mission was to deal with the rebel leader by any means necessary.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. If we have to kill the dragon, we kill the dragon.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's probably resistant to fire, isn't it?
The opposite. Considering if it's silver, then it's ice.
Yes.
Ice
You
melts
could-
in fire.
Yes. In regards to the documents, trust me, when it comes to troop movements, I have my fair share of insights. Furthermore, I don't think you'd find getting to them so easy as I did today. I had a quite opportune distraction in my favor. And she nods her head to you guys.
That you did. Although before we know we can trust you on your word, we need to know a little bit more about you and your objectives here. You clearly seem to be an ally, yet in what manner still eludes me.
Quite frankly, I am a bit of an adventurer. And there are, let's say, there are certain items in the Jarl's possession that I'm interested in. And I can't really get at it as the situation currently is. I will, given enough time, but I prefer to get things done with some expediency. This land is far too moist for my liking.
Moist.
Always ready.
I mean, it's England. I get it.
It's a language thing.
Humid. Moist.
Moist.
Alistair sort of crooks an eyebrow and says,
Very well. What do you think, my lady?
I look over to Arabella.
She kind of sits thoughtful for a little bit. It's a tricky situation, but like not one we can't let lie. If getting to the documents is proven difficult, then I don't think we should dwell on that too much. The best would be alternative ways to getting information on Titania, though at the moment it does seem like the dragon is the one that potentially has that information. So a confrontation, I think, might be inevitable.
Yes.
A problem with getting him in our favor would be we would need to set the terrain, but getting him the only way I can see him coming to us would be endangering the town itself, and the town itself is full of potential enemies if we do end up doing an attack there.
You'll be trained the militia.
Yes, we are outnumbered, and we seek battle with the dragon.
Yeah.
It is, even I must concede that it is unfavorable odds.
Now, far be it from me to suggest burning down a whole village, but fire is the great equalizer.
I like you.
Oh yeah, no, like I have considered the fact that we can set it on fire with quite a distance. However, I am still unsure if that is the best way to go about it.
Our ancestors
Actually, a great
would,
fire. Actually, a great fire is not a bad idea, as it sounds. There are ways to not make it, well, let's be honest here. You seem like nice folks. Could try to minimize collateral damage, but fighting a fire does take quite a lot of manpower. That might even the odds in your
or
favor.
a dragon with an ice breath.
Oh, then we get the dragon down.
Well, then,
Then
we just
the
have to
dragon's
set
gonna
more
somehow
fires.
The cleansing fire of the phoenix is the weapon of choice of our ancestors.
Babok,
It is not.
what are we trying to say?
Yeah. Well, if we set fire to the town, the dragon might not come and attack us first. It might come and to the rescue of the town, which would not be where we would want to fight it.
Yes, but if we set fire to the nearby forest where it hunts.
Be happy that Gladio isn't with you right now, because he's a druid.
He might not like setting fire to the
He's
fire.
fucking fire. No. He would like burning down the fire. He's a forest fire druid.
Yeah, but
sometimes you control fires.
Yeah, but forest fire
To be
druids
honest.
doesn't mean they burn down random forests. It means they controlled burn.
Yeah,
them
we do a controlled fire. We controlled burn.
Look at this guy thinking he can control a wildfire.
If he was here, he could actually help us burn down the forest in the
exactly.
optimal way.
He would be an optimal burner of fires.
I see only upsides.
That
But
might actually, that might also be a good idea. I did a little bit of, let's say, interviewing as well during my snooping. And I do have it on pretty good authority that he never ventures more than a day away, probably hunting. So going after his hunting grounds. Here's the thing about dragons. They're proud. If it's their people, their home, or their possessions, it doesn't really matter. It'll still get them going.
Yes. I think it's a sound strategy, although it is dangerous. We are invoking the wrath of a dragon and
Just a young one.
wildfire.
Fine.
It's still a grave matter that settles in my heart that we are to take up arms against the Fae in such a obvious and aggressive manner. I had hoped that we would be the defending party and not the aggressor.
I can argue.
Sir Alistair, let me share with you some wisdom, some Roman wisdom. When you see the javelin coming, when do you step aside?
And he sort of looks at his spear, and he says,
You step aside when you see it coming. That does not mean you return fire.
In the Roman way, that is the same thing. I guess that bit got lost in translation.
Alistair sort of says,
But I will defer to the lady. She is wise beyond her years.
I give that a nod.
Well, I guess it's time to hunt some dragon.
Since our goals are aligned, I hope you don't mind if I do tag along. Officially.
I do think we need this support against such a big foe. So, may I ask... No, actually, forget it. You did actually answer the question.
You are an adventurer, like you say. Then I am sure that we can arrange for a stipend for your services.
That's very kind. I wouldn't mind eating on some king's dime.
Very well. And then, by the authority of Sir Arthur Pendragon, I deputize you in the Order of the Phoenix.
and I take out a hand.
I'm not familiar with this land's way, so I'm not sure how to respond to that.
In Britannia, we shake one's hand in agreement.
Warriors clasp.
Yes.
I clasp your hand, like warrior style. I don't do it like a Jane. And you can feel that her grip is quite
You do
solid.
the predator handshake.
Yeah. I didn't mean that, but let's go with that. That's
Dylan!
The other
Like the predator one. You mean, Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
Alistair.
You're sorry.
Then it is settled.
Son of
I
a
have a pack to spare if you wish good bedding. But for now, I think we need to rest and plan what we are to do in this engagement.
That's true. I have forgot to buy all the adventuring gear, but I hope we can handle that. I didn't really seem important.
Synth planner. I had a spare.
Hey,
You want to use it this session? That's how using it shall be.
at least you have plenty of time before next session to actually buy.
I have to write down what the fuck's going on.
Question.
Yes.
I am a talisman crafter.
Yes.
Could I craft something out of that dragon scale to help us? A protected charm or something?
So talismans are consumed. Are consumables when used. I think you could probably craft something more permanent with the dragon scale instead.
Even
But also,
neater.
as a talisman dabbler, I think you get 1 free per day anyway, don't you?
Yeah, 2.
True.
Yeah.
I
Or
get
more.
some amount of free, but I'm not sure if it might be only the ones that I know
Yeah,
the
you
recipe
need
for.
to know
Yeah,
them. Yeah.
Yeah. So this
And
would
they
be
need to
more
be
of a
under
normal
X
crafting
level
roll.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Under level 4 for now. Yeah.
but
But
because
that's like the feat that
Yeah.
I get for free.
yeah, but because you have the dedication and the scale, I will allow you to craft something a bit more permanent.
Nice.
I'll think of that for next session.
Great.
But yeah, I think we're wrapping up here.
Yeah.
I was not expecting negotiations to be so long.
Well,
Ironically,
We were trying really hard to go the non-violent route.
I
okay?
know,
Yeah.
and
We're trying to be good diplomats.
I know you are, and I was trying to push you to annoy you because I had prepped a fight.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I figured. Yeah. No.
Yeah, no, we saw that one coming a mile away.
We are committed to non-violence.
I kind of wanted to help you along with the ultimatum or with like how Alistair played with intimidation and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I was like, but Cillia's doing such a good job. I don't want to ruin it.
Doing a good job.
What?
Well, we
Yeah.
did confirm that they probably are working with the rebels, though, so that's good. So now I have no qualms about attacking them.
Yeah.
I might have qualms about attacking the city directly because that's probably mostly civilians. But attacking the estate or the warriors or the dragon, yeah, no, that's okay now.
Or the forest.
Yeah, or the first.
Yeah.
I mean that.
I do think that the forest fire is kind of a good idea, though.
It's
The more I
surprisingly
think
good, yeah.
about it.
Yeah, well, it depends on like. We don't want it to go the entire freaking countryside, but
No, we have to pick the forest. I think that's going to be part of the work here is to figure out where to do it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run a quick ad break, and then while we just have a stretch or whatever, it's just 2 minutes. Just because I've delayed it 3 times now, and I can't delay it anymore. And then as soon as the ads,
Bezos wants his ads.
yeah, I know. Screw Twitch. As soon as the ads are done, we can do a quick wrap up with thoughts and ending the stream kind of stuff.
Nice.
I just
Which mechanic question?
yes.
Whenever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Talisman Dabbler doesn't have any more. It doesn't have any more dedication feats until level 14.
Oh yeah, because it has a. Yeah, but you hang on. Let me have a look at your sheet.
But I have both quick fix and the skill feat rapid fixture. I'm not sure if that counts as taking the second dedication feat.
So you have archetype feats. You have you have Talisman Dabbler and quick fix. Do you have any more?
Oh, they count as 2.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, well,
you need
as
one.
part of quick fix, I get rapid fixture.
Yeah, but that's the same feat. Quick fix gives you rapid fixture. You've still only chosen one.
Yeah.
Because you gain the rapid fixture feat. Yeah. Hang on, let me just have a quick.
Actually, wait. No. There is one at level 8 here. Deeper Devil.
Yeah, but you're
level
6 1. Yeah, because rapid fixture is a general skill, but you get it from quick fix.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'd still need one at level 6. We can, because I know there isn't one. I know Talisman Dabbler is one of those that is annoying with free archetype because it doesn't have one for every level. But we can make one, I think.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm going to take the Deeper Dabbler at level 8.
So yeah, with Talisman Dabbler, you can affix up to 4 talismans during the 10-minute span. We can basically, I think, let you affix more, maybe, as just a quick, simple thing. Because you can have 4. Let's say you could have 6 or 7. 7 is good.
Mm-hmm.
Just make it.
Actually, I can already get. No, that's creating, not fixing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Deeper Dabbler lets me create an additional 2 talismans.
Yeah.
And then and then the other heavy let me have more affixed. Yeah, that works.
Yeah. So I will.
It's like
You can also affix to others. So if you have 7, then you can affix 1 to each party member, and 2 more for yourself during the same.
I saw some really, really good rogue talismans actually that I can give you to Little Area. Like, if you sneak attack, you get an extra d4 and 1d4 persistent bleed.
That's pretty good.
Pretty nice.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Matthias,
Yeah.
love Valeria. Fucking great. Well done.
Yeah,
Great character. Love your voice.
Edit.
Thank you.
I will just do this.
I will share something with you in chat because she just popped into my head one day, and then she just happened to fit the campaign in that order.
I know. Me and I went to Matthias for a couple of beers one day, and he was telling me about this awesome character, and I was like, that fits perfect into Legends. Let's see. Where is it? When you affix a talisman, you. Right, hang on. I'll actually just edit this. Why am I writing when I can literally copy paste? You can, in any combination, affix or remove up to, say, 7 talismans during the 10-minute time span. There you go. And then I drag it into your slot. There you go. Now you have a free feat. Or not a free, it's still.
Oh. Yeah.
Did it not? Oh, wait. It popped up in campaign feeds. I might need to change it to a archetype, so it pops up in the right slot. Actions passive. Rules. How do I make this an archetype? Bonus feat. There you go. Art. Class feat. Isn't it? Yes, there you go. Efficient fixer. I
efficient fixer.
And it lets you fix or remove up to 7.
Nice.
Then you have something at least.
Mind if I rename it efficient fixer?
You can rename it whatever you want.
That rhymes more.
I need to give you. No, you can just do it in your character sheet, I think. Yeah. Right. Now the ads are done, and we can officially end the stream. I know it's weird to end it right after an ad, but I wanted to give our endings, and I couldn't delay it anymore. The ads. So. As I said, I had prepped this whole session as an encounter, not a diplomacy, but that's how the cookie crumbles, I guess. It was fun nonetheless. It was fun getting to play angry people who you clearly now know were working for the rebels and trying their best to just get rid of you. So that was fun and interesting. I loved Valeria as well. Very good character, very good fit to the campaign as well.
At least now we have you have the argument that we tried diplomacy.
Yeah, that's true. In 2 weeks' time, we will be returning. We will have to confirm on Discord, of course, whether it's a Legends or the main campaign. I will also say...
Sort of wanted to be Legend now.
I also have to say, though, that I have spent 3 weeks making the next main campaign session. Going to be very good.
Sweet.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Hype.
And yeah, we will discuss on Discord, though, whether it's Legends or the main campaign. We'll have to see. Apart from that, I will likely be back on Monday with more Final Fantasy Rebirth. Getting close to the end now. 100 hours in. 79% complete. So I'm getting there. Not much more to say. You started?
Reborn myself.
Yeah? Nice.
Just started on Reborn myself. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Such a massive game.
It is huge. It is amazing. Rebirth. Yeah, Final Fantasy Rebirth. Anyway, thank you all for watching. We will be back in 2 weeks with more Direwolf. Until then, bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.